done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom-installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your sunroof is closed first, before driving through the car wash.
Whoa, 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 no, wait, whoa.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
If you're like most Americans, you have a ton of credit card debt, and you're paying insane interest rates on that debt every month. Same for car loans and personal loans. Stop getting ripped off. Let Loan Pronto consolidate that debt for you at a significantly lower rate using the equity in your home. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line of Credit can get you up to $500,000 so you can consolidate your debt in as fast as 5 days. Their average client saves over $1,000 every month by doing this. Right now is the best time to act. With an Express Equity Line of Credit, you can access up to 90% of your home's equity, usually without an appraisal. Don't put it off. Get your financial house in order for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now to see what you can save. It's a free quote, and there's no credit pull, unlike those other guys. Call now, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs. You're listening to the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You know, the goalie challenge thing is the game for me. And then the rule is black and white. Supposed to be. There's contact before the puck goes in. We've got a freeze frame where his skate is on our goalie's skate before it goes in. And then to be told there's absolutely no contact? What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? That's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, man.
What are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
Hi, everyone. It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. That is Victoria.
Yes.
You heard the voice of Rod Brindamore. We'll address that in a second.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yes. Thank you very much, all veterans, for their service, their sacrifice, your family's sacrifice. We will talk to a veteran today.
Nice.
Yeah, sure. I like to talk to this gentleman a lot more often than just on Veterans Day, but I do believe that if we go back and look, I think we have talked to him like the last 4 Veterans Days.
Oh.
So Chris Spatola.
Tradition.
Chris
Yeah.
Spatola, ESPN college basketball analyst who had the first 2 Duke games. Of course, he lives locally, so they were saving on airfare and hotel. But we'll talk to Chris about hoops. We'll also thank him for his service because he is I think, an Iraq War veteran. But we'll talk a little hoops. We invite you to join us on YouTube, youtube.com/Adam Gold Show /999 The Fan. You get to us the same way, and we're here. So then you can see me. Not that that's a selling point. You can see Victoria when she talks enough to grab the screen.
Yeah, when it triggers over here.
Let's see how long it takes to.
Maybe is he gonna do it?
I don't know.
Maybe now. Maybe
your team won again.
I know we're on a streak.
I mean,
we're on a streak.
According to Lou Brown, here we go. According to Lou Brown, 2 is not a winning streak. You've just won 2 in a row. But
I'm taking it.
In the case of the Panthers,
yeah.
I think 1 is a streak.
Yes, we got to get it when we can.
Yes. They are now 3-7.
Wow.
I'm going to say this. I don't want anybody to throw anything at the radio or at the YouTube, at your laptop. They're only 3 games out of first.
I know, right? Go figure.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Well, yes, it's...
I even made a tweet yesterday because hearing Sweet Caroline, even though it was in Munich, almost made me emotional because we haven't won, and I hear that song like it's just a thing. It's a whole thing.
Okay, so at some point we're going to have to address this.
Yeah.
The Panthers are not the only team to use Sweet Caroline as sort of like a victory song.
And everyone else is wrong.
Okay.
Everyone else is wrong. The Carolina Panthers, that's their song. It makes sense.
Okay.
They should be the ones using it.
They've played that song at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
In every seventh inning stretch. I can't remember for like 25 years. They
makes no sense.
I like the song.
Yeah.
I'm starting to hate it.
Well, yeah, it's
I
being
hear
abused
it all the time.
Yeah.
Can we do Cracklin' Rosie?
They should do something else. Did you also hear Country Roads yesterday?
Well, I was going to bring that up. The Baltimore Orioles play that in the seventh inning.
Yeah.
Like back when the Orioles were, the last time the Orioles were good, really good, back in the like late 80s, early 90s, into the mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
John Denver actually showed up at Camden Yards and played the seventh inning stretch live. So,
yeah,
I
know.
Whatever.
There's so many songs. Why do you have to steal ours? I don't know. Not a fan.
Okay. All right. We'll get into the Rod Brindamore thing. He was referring to a goaltender interference call that they told him one thing that was obviously incorrect. 100% incorrect. But I do want to address that particular issue when we get into it, and we're going to start. And not because the Hurricanes did not win, but that is not our top story, because
a career high 153 rushing yards to We had some turnovers now. Sean got one out. Josie got one. Clowney with the tip and the pick. JT Sanders, first career touchdown. And we got a couple sacks right here. One time for A-Sean. DJ Warner.
Very excited. By the way, that last name you heard, DJ Wanham.
Yep.
What is this, week 40? Finally.
I know.
Right?
Thanks for showing up.
Look. No, they played a good game. 17 was probably the least they should have done in the during regulation time, but it went extra time, and the Panthers won it. We'll get to why I'm mad about how they did it in a few minutes. Bryce Young, again, second straight week. Not blow your socks off, but he looked like a professional quarterback.
I know.
Oh, it can happen.
Right?
He was 15 of 25, 126 yards. He had a touchdown. He had 30 yards worth of scrambles, including a nice run up the middle, which he cut to the outside and got out of bounds. So 2 straight games, 2 straight wins, and 2 straight very solid performances.
Great. I'm blessed for sure. All glory to God. I'm super happy for this team, for my teammates, for everyone involved. And, it's great. Again, it's 2 wins right now. We had these 24 hours. We're going to enjoy it. But, obviously, stuff to clean up, stuff to build off of. But we'll worry about that, when the time's appropriate.
I'm telling you, after they win, I don't need to give him water. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah. Here's Dave Canales. Are you ready now to just say, yeah, this ship belongs to Captain Bryce now?
I'm so proud of Bryce. I'm so proud of taking the next step again. I thought he had a great day. I thought it could have been a fantastic day. I thought a few balls got away from us a couple of times that would have really turned it into an exceptional day, but he handled the rush well. He handled the different coverage looks and all that. So, again, we'll take all the information. We'll do all that, but Bryce certainly is making a statement to all of us. And so, I just can't tell you how proud I am of just weekly progress, and that's the goal for all of us.
All right. Dave Canales, that is a question you cannot be unprepared to answer properly. You can't be.
Multiple times.
Yes, this is now however many weeks in a row.
Yeah.
You can't be unprepared for this question. He has now looked like a representative quarterback. Is it 3 straight weeks?
Yeah, I think.
Or was it no?
He's 2.
No, the Denver week was the first week where their offense was like he was trying to not win.
Exactly.
Actively trying to not win against Denver. Then they beat the Saints, bad team. Beat the Giants, bad team. But in both games, Bryce Young looked like a competent NFL quarterback, that's the base. That's where we start from.
And improved.
So if the goal was to turn Bryce into something, and I apologize for those people watching on YouTube who can see the pain in my face here because I cannot fathom why this is so hard. If the goal was to turn him into a credible NFL quarterback, even if you're not keeping him, then the only move is to say, yeah, he's the quarterback. He's the future. Maybe not ours, but he's the future.
Yeah.
So it's not a difficult question to have answered if you are prepared to give it, but he's clearly not prepared.
It's playing games.
All right. So now let me by the way, the Giants are bad. They also are sloppy. I don't understand when you were trying to run out the clock on 3rd and 10 or whatever it was, 3rd and 8 after 2 just unimaginative Chuba Hubbard runs into the line of scrimmage. More on that in a minute. Even if the swing pass to Hubbard, I guess, was accurate, and it was high, it was over his it was too high, not a good throw. Even if the pass is accurate, he's not going anywhere. He's going to gain 2. So, why? Why? Speaking of why, when the Giants fumbled on the first snap, nice defensive play, by the way, by A'Shawn Robinson. When the Giants fumbled on the first snap and you got the ball at, the 25?
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to run those 3 plays, which were essentially 3 plays designed to get a total of 3 yards, why run any of them? If literally all you wanted to do is kick a field goal, which I'm okay with, just send out Eddie Pinheiro on first down and kick it. Just send him out. I didn't understand handing the ball off 3 times, risking a bad snap 3 times, risking a bad exchange 3 times, risking Chuba Hubbard fumbling the ball. I know he doesn't fumble a lot. He did fumble in this game, although wasn't that a horse collar tackle?
Yeah.
I don't even understand. So anyway, why did they do that? And then after running the ball on 1st and 2nd down, maybe you want to just put the ball in a certain spot on the field. All right, snap the ball. Bryce Young kneels where you want to snap the ball next and be done with it. Don't you kick on 3rd down just in case the snap is bad and the kicker can just fall on it and you try again? Sorry.
It makes sense.
I'm sorry. It's just I don't understand the coaching. I don't. And I'm hoping that much like we want David Tepper to grow as an owner and overcome his first 6 years of incompetence as an owner, and maybe he's starting to overcome it. I want Dave Canales to overcome whatever this is going on through 10 games because it's not been good. Has not been good. All right, let me move on. Hey, the Panthers won a game for the 2nd straight week, 3-7, and they clearly don't want the first pick of the draft. All right,
right.
To the Canes, whose streak ends at 8 in Colorado. 5-goal second period for the Avalanche. That doomed the Hurricanes. 2nd straight year, by the way, they have allowed 5 second period goals in Colorado and lost 6-4.
Yikes.
Right?
That's weird.
3 times in the last 4 seasons, I guess now 3 seasons plus, whatever it is, that the Hurricanes have allowed at least 5 goals in a period, or 5 goals in a period because they haven't allowed more, which is it's hard to allow more than 5 goals in a period. And 2 of them were in Denver against the Avalanche in the last 2 years. And each game they lost 6-4. All right, now to the turning point. They had a 2-0 lead, middle of the second period, and they were on the power play. Shane Gostisbehere tried to make a cross-ice pass. It was telegraphed. Cale Makar, pick 6, goes the other way. It wasn't even a breakaway. It was just he got to the top of the rings and just reared back and let it rip right past Spencer Martin. And then there are other things that we can talk about here, including the goaltender interference. But here's Rod Brindamore.
The shorthanded goal killed us. Like they were, I think, pretty flat. You could see what they were like once they got going. So that was the play of the game, and then the goal interference thing for me. That's the game, right? It's a 1-goal game essentially. So those 2 kind of things flipped the game for us.
100%. And if you are a fan of the Canes Corner podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts, also live on YouTube after each game. And because I wasn't doing the pregame and postgame and all of that, I got to the podcast immediately after the final horn. I think we were live on YouTube maybe 5 minutes after the last horn. That was, I have my notes in front of me, game turned on shorthanded goal. Because Colorado was dead. They looked like a team that didn't know what they were doing. Hurricanes in control, 2-0. The shorthanded goal ignited the Avalanche, and from that point, Nathan MacKinnon was unplayable. He factored in, I think, on all the other goals. The Makar goal was unassisted. I think he factored in on all the other goals. He was amazing. Remember the other night when Martin Necas essentially got Carolina's last the goal that made it 5-4 in the win over Philadelphia, was it? I think it was the win over Philadelphia, right? When he willed that last goal to win the game. I said there were only so many players in the league who could actually take over a hockey game. MacKinnon is one of those players, and he took over this game. And those players can do it against anybody because they are that good. MacKinnon is one of those, and he clearly took the game over. It was, if you're just a fan of the sport, breathtaking to watch.
They're fun to watch.
Right, but, as a Hurricanes fan,
not so
like,
fun.
Oh, man, just hanging on. Now, to the goaltender interference. So, Rod Brindamore said that the referee said that there was no contact between Nathan MacKinnon's skate and Spencer Martin's skate. Spencer Martin, goalie, he had the start, not Pyotr Kochetkov. And I'm baffled by that because there was clear contact. But here's why I didn't think it was goaltender interference. It's always a risk, by the way, to challenge that because, honestly, no matter how much hockey you watch, it is mood. Goaltender interference is a vibe. What's the vibe? I don't know. Well, so you're just taking a chance. Even if you're positive it's goaltender interference.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's very subjective.
It's up to the mood of the people who are viewing that. Toronto, the referees, whatever. So here's why I would not have challenged, but I don't know that you could get to it so quickly. It looked to me like Andrei Svechnikov had, while not a ton of contact, kind of steered MacKinnon into Martin. So while there was contact, so I don't understand that explanation, I thought it was more caused by Andrei Svechnikov than it was... Well, it was helped by Andrei Svechnikov, and that's enough for me to not have a goal chalked off. So what happened was the goal made it 4-3. And then, because you challenged a call and got it wrong, you go down a man, and then another penalty. The Hurricanes have now been 5-on-3 down 6 times in 13 games. I don't think that they were down. I'm positive they weren't. They didn't have 5-on-3 power plays against 6 times last year. I think the number was like 4. But 6 times. And honestly, even though they didn't give up a 5-on-3 goal here, Mikko ranted and scored like 10 seconds after the 5-on-3 expired. So it led to all of it. But it was 5-3. Carolina scored early in the third, but just couldn't get the second one to get even. I thought Carolina was arguably better than Colorado in the third period. They just couldn't get the goal. I thought Spencer Martin played good, even though he gave up 5 goals. No joke. We'll talk more about the Hurricanes coming up in a little bit. They play Vegas tonight. A couple of call-ups that may or may not play. We'll have to wait to the skate. All right, Duke has 7 wins. They're 7-3.
Yeah, they are.
Manny Diaz, Coach of the Year, candidate in the ACC.
Be.
I mean, it's an impressive team.
Yeah.
And if you think, how did they not beat SMU with forcing 6 turnovers and turning the ball over 0 times on their own? Well, they didn't. They were a field goal mess, but they could easily be 8-2, the Blue Devils. So the win over State, 29-19, did not think – I thought State would win that game. I thought State was really coming around offensively. Turns out Duke's defense better than State's offense. I thought State's defense played pretty well too, not as well as Duke's defense did. The turnovers also help. I know State dropped a bunch of balls, but ultimately this is where the Wolfpack lost the game. Now, they weren't great offensively, but they had opportunities, got to the red zone a little bit, but their first 5 attempts at getting points were either field goals or 5 field goal attempts. They made 4 of them. Dave Doran on that part of the game.
Different drives, they zero blitzed us in one drive 3 straight times, and we didn't manage it. Didn't do a good job. We had a good play call on one, and one of the receivers slipped. Dakari came out one-on-one on a guy. We thought we'd win there, and he slipped. Other than that, they covered us. They rushed us. They stopped the run. We didn't get it done. We got outplayed in that area of the field, and there's nothing magic about it. It's tight windows, and they made more plays down there than us, and we didn't finish drives in that area of the field. And so we were able to get down there quite a bit, but you got to finish.
Neither team could run the ball. So do we want to be negative or positive? Both defenses were so good against the run. I'm looking at Star Thomas having 36 yards rushing, and I don't recall him ever rushing the ball across the line of scrimmage in the entire game. Now, granted, I didn't see every play of the game, so I'm sure he must have, because the stats don't lie. I never saw him cross the line of scrimmage carrying a football. Even passes. He caught a couple of passes. I never saw him cross the line of scrimmage. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I thought Duke won this game because Malik Murphy was better than C.J. Bailey. I think Manny Diaz probably thinks the same thing.
We needed it because they made it very, very difficult for us to run the football. I mean, they were bringing people from everywhere, crowding our box, and then playing a lot of tight man coverage. And so we had you needed someone of Malik's caliber of accuracy to make the plays that we did. And so, like again, in a game where everything was tough, and it was going to take a high level of execution to move the football tonight, I thought he came through and gave us a chance and a rushing touchdown. It was created a lot of joy in our locker room to celebrate that.
Yeah, I thought Duke's receivers won the game. Murphy and Duke's receivers made a bunch of contested catches. It was impressive. I love State's personnel. I don't know why they haven't done better with it this year. Really don't. But that was a super competitive game by, I think, two pretty evenly matched teams. Or maybe Duke's flat out better. I mean, final score says it. 7-3 on the year, 3-3 in the league. State is 5-5, 2-4 in the league. You know, had State won the game, they would be identical. So maybe Duke's just better. All right, let's take a break. Will Brinson will come on the other side. We'll briefly talk about the Panthers in Germany, whether or not we hate one of our best allies in Europe. Plus, the 49ers get Christian McCaffrey back. Russell Wilson, like, half the game was great. And that might be all Pittsburgh needs to be really good. And we'll talk about some other things in the NFL, including the Cowboys and the Jets. Oh, my gosh, comedy. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The Panthers finally won a game, but let's not forget who did it. Leading the team in tackles, a rookie, Damani Richardson. Leading the team in receiving, Jatavian Sanders, a rookie. Leading the team second in receiving. Another rookie, Jalen Coker. Xavier Legette, another rookie, third. You have to let the young guys take over if you want to have success in Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Well, we're not quite done with Week 10 of the NFL, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is giving you one last chance to make Week 10 worth your while. New customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins on tonight's game. For instance, Mike McDaniel, the head coach of the Dolphins, will look like a skateboarder. That's minus money, but why not? Give it a shot. If you can win that bet, then you get $150 in bonus bets. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
When it comes to football and hockey, Abbey Road Tavern and Grill is the road to a good time. NHL, NFL, and college game watching at its best. Play NFL Pick'em every 1 p.m. Sunday game to win a $25 gift card, plus halftime raffles for big ticket items. Enjoy award-winning burgers, biggest wings, killer beer specials, full bar, and high-def TVs sound on. In Cary, catch the games at the original Abbey Road Tavern and Grill on West Chatham. In Apex, head to Abbey Road on Center Street. Games, great food, and good times. AbbeyRoadNC.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Get an amazing deal on a brand new 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD Denali right now at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. Get 5.9% for 84 months with up to $6,000 in savings, including $1,000 bonus cash and $5,000 Wilkinson discount. Not available with leases and some other offers. See dealer for details. GMC, we are professional grade. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
This is Adam Gold.
We don't need Al Roker in a suit doing yoga.
No.
And Al, to his credit, recognized that and said, you know what? I am not getting into Warrior 2.
I'm stopping at Downward Dog.
There will be no, he didn't get to that. Like, heck no.
The Adam Gold Show.
All right, what is this?
So this one is the newest military branch for the U.S., Space Force. It was made in 2019. That's a fun little fact I learned today. I'm using all the branches as bump songs today.
I'll recognize the others.
Oh, yes. As we get, it's the newer one now, but as we get into the show, they will be very recognizable.
So here's the problem, is that they don't have a football team.
I know.
That when the U.S. Space Force plays Air Force in the Military Bowl, then I will recognize the I don't know.
It'll be out of this world.
The anthem.
Sorry, I had to. There goes Space Force.
On that note, Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com, sorts the Sunday pile. I want to start with the Panthers. I want to be brief on the Panthers and get to some other things. So, in overtime, in what was, I think, probably oversold by Rich Eisen as a great football game, it was certainly a close football game. But in overtime, when the Giants fumble on the first play, if you're going to run those three plays, why don't you just kick it on first down?
Rich Eisen had a lot to say in that game, didn't he?
He did. He spoke German to us as well. Yes, but
yeah. It's he was certainly the hard sell on the game there. By the way, if you hear anything in the background, it's just me at another edition of the ACC Sports Pod. If anybody wants to check that out, myself, Tom Lavolsi, Trip Penix, and Matt Cameron recording an episode now at the Albatross Golf Pub in Cary. Use promo code ADHD Sports for 15% off all online bookings. Sorry, I had to get my promo in. But yeah, look, I thought the Giants. To me, I wrote about this. I mean, it's mostly about the diverting paths of the quarterbacks in this case, right?
Right.
Bryce Young maybe kind of back, and the Giants finally saying, okay, we can be done with Daniel Jones and move on from him. I think you put way more of that on the players' mistakes than the coaching. And I do hope that for the Giants' sake, that they at least let Joe Shane and the GM and Brian Dable, the coach, try this with their own quarterback. Because I think you see some of the stuff they do, and you think, man, if they like the flea flicker on 3rd and 1 where Daniel Jones gets, how do you get sacked on a flea flicker with two guys open? You just cut it loose. Like the second the ball is touched back at you, you just throw it way down the field. And, yeah, then in overtime, just a kind of a collapse. It was a surprise. I mean, look, Panthers strung together 2 wins in a row for the first time since 2022. Credit to him, right? Bryce Young's best game of his career.
I mean, he threw for 126 yards.
It's a low bar.
I understand. Or maybe that was meters, so it's actually more because it was in Germany. So, but again, I just, Daniel Jones isn't good. We've known this for many years. Unfortunately, the Giants gave him that contract because in year 1 with Brian Dable, he looked good. And then, of course, he hasn't since. He still has some moments where he looks good, but we saw that at Duke too. I think he is a perfect backup quarterback for somebody. I mean, I really do. I think he is could be a 10-year backup quarterback with his size, with his speed, with his ability to run and break down defenses when he's coming off the bench because your real quarterback has an injury, but he isn't a one. But he, not to belabor the point, but those
58 consecutive starts with fewer than 3 passing touchdowns, the 5th most since 1970 for Daniel Jones. Oddly enough, there's Like Jim Harbaugh is the number one guy on there from 89 to 95. Archie Manning also makes the list. Craig Morton and Dave Brown. Those are the only guys above Daniel Jones with consecutive starts without 3 passing.
Dave Brown, former Duke quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. It must be a Duke thing.
It is a Duke thing.
Which I really shouldn't be talking any smack about Duke football at this stage of the proceedings.
That wasn't smack about Duke football.
No, not at all.
The 2 guys are in the NFL. That's good about Duke football. So again, I just don't understand why they ran any of those plays if that's all they were going to do. I didn't understand on 3rd and 8 when you just needed to pick up a first down to end the game, and they ran a play that had no chance at a first down. So I don't get it, but never mind.
Even the right before they kick late was like there's 12 seconds left, no timeouts. They're like, let's run a play. It's like, how about you kick the ball?
Yeah,
you don't think Daniel Jones can slip and fall down and you lose, right?
I know. Oh, the Giants, yes. That whole thing was curious. They could have gotten tackled inbounds, and then the game ends. Why can't Dave Canales name a starting quarterback?
I don't know. It's weird. I mean, like there is absolutely no reason the Panthers should be doing anything other than just being like, look, Bryce sat down. We like where his head's at. I mean, it made me happy, like legitimately happy to see him run for that first down, have that big cheesy grin on his face, and do the double point for the first down. Like he's like, man, finally, you just felt good for him, right?
I did.
After just and so like this season is. I'm not gonna. I don't want to flirt. It's a lost season for the Panthers unless the Falcons just go into a tailspin. I mean, that division is bad.
Right.
But like, just YOLO it and say, look, we can put Bryce out there. We can give him stuff that he's comfortable with. We can put him in situations that are beneficial. Chuba Hubbard's running the ball really well. Jonathan Brooks is going to come back eventually, maybe, possibly. The offensive line run blocking well. And like some of these younger weapons. I mean, like you're not going to be bad enough at this point because there are, I think, 11 teams that have 3 wins or less right now in the NFL. That's a ton. So you're not going to be bad enough, more than likely, to secure the number 1 seed and then go get Cam Ward. You've got Bryce Young under contract. I know that they probably think they're out on him, but he's flashed just enough of the last 2 weeks where you got David Legette, you got Jalen Coker, you got.
I think they're going to trade Bryce Young. So
I think they hold on to him personally.
If I were them, I'd build his. I don't think they want him. That's like I think
he might not want to be there. I'm just saying you have a bunch of rookies.
Possible.
You have a bunch of rookies at wide receiver and like tight end and running back. And you have a second-year quarterback who you really haven't given a fair chance. Just put him out there and just see what happens the rest of the season. If he loses a ton of games, you're closer to a top pick. And if he wins some, maybe you got something for next year.
I don't understand why this is such a difficult thing for Dave Canales to get. Let me move on to a former NC State quarterback. Russell Wilson threw for 195 yards and 3 touchdowns, including that absolute from the heavens throw to Mike Williams for the go-ahead touchdown late on.
The signature Russell Wilson moon ball.
It just incredible. Like, I don't think Russ is consistently even very good, but he has moments of brilliance, and I think that's all Pittsburgh needs to be a problem, is moments of brilliance for him. And I think Washington probably left that game available for them with as many mistakes and drop passes as they had. But Russ was available to make those plays, and what he gives them is something Justin Fields could not.
Correct.
And that's, even though I disagreed with the move initially, I don't even understand why it's a debate for some people. Russ better than Fields, and the Steelers are dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, they're 7-2. They play great defense. They run the crap out of the ball. I mean, Najee had 21 carries. Jalen Warren had 14. They weren't particularly efficient, and Najee got banged up by the goal line. But Russ opens up that running game, and more importantly, he unlocks George Pickens, who's had another great game. 5 catches, 91 yards and a touch.
Right.
I mean, and then Mike Williams. I mean, this is just like the island of cast off misfits, right?
Yes.
I mean, Mike Williams signed this offseason. Russ basically signed for nothing, or he signed with the Jets this offseason and traded last week. I mean, it's the type of team that you don't think is when they get to the playoffs, the Bills and the Chiefs are going to be there. I probably like the Chargers a little bit more than the Steelers, but I think they're kind of similar, right? You have more upside at the quarterback with the Chargers, but you just have a team that is, and this is what Mike Tomlin wanted from Russell Wilson. Come in, open up the passing game a little bit, get the most out of your receivers, don't make dumb mistakes, don't turn the ball over, just let the defense in the run game get you in there and find ways to win. And they got a coach who doesn't flinch. And like, to his credit, he told us that Russ was in the pole position before the season started, and Russ ended up taking the job, but his injury with the calf injury during the preseason, and it led to Justin Fields taking over. He bridges the gap, and there's probably going to be a time when they will use a little Justin Fields here and there. But like, shout out to my buddy Carver McLaren. He said it first on yesterday on ATW, but I agree with it completely. Russ is reviving what we thought was a lost Hall of Fame career. Like, I've never seen anything like this. I don't think he was in the Hall of Fame. Like, it was a done deal. He was just going to be a Hall of Famer. Just had to play out average to above average seasons. He's so bad with Seattle and so bad with Denver that he moonwalked his way out of the Hall of Fame, and now he might be forcing his way back in. But if the Steelers make any kind of a run or go and win the division, I mean, he's not going to win MVP, but he'll sneak a vote or two, as a down ballot guy.
Well, okay,
they vote for 5 guys. Like Matthew Stafford got one last year, so I mean,
okay. All right. So maybe Russ gets a 5th place vote, but it doesn't even matter.
Somebody in Pittsburgh's going to give him a 5th place vote, and he'll get an MVP. He'll get his first ever MVP vote. And then all of a sudden he's just back on track for Canton. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, and he's not playing a super high level. It's just, this is what we thought Russ would be when he got older, and he's actually doing it in Pittsburgh, which it's just so odd he didn't do it with Sean Payton.
Will Brinson is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, as he does every Monday. All right, let me get to the Detroit Lions did everything they could to not win yet last night against Houston and still won. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. Don't even care that one of them was on a Hail Mary. If we forget it, he threw 4 interceptions, and they won the game. Is that more about Detroit, or is that more about Houston?
I think it's about Detroit. I mean, look, Houston was banged up. They had, John Mechie is their leading receiver, and it's an awesome story that Mechie's out there playing well. Tank Dell should have had a touchdown. C.J. Stroud underthrew it. And I thought, Chris Collinsworth pointed this out, but during the early part of the game, C.J. Stroud looked really calm in the pocket. Detroit did some stuff defensively that got him rattled. And again, Collinsworth noted it. I mean, it's obvious, but when Detroit came out of the second half, they were like, all right, we're going to get David Montgomery going. We're going to get Amon-Ra St. Brown going.
Yep.
And when they got those guys going, the offensive line's mauling, and the defense is getting pressure on Stroud, they just kind of flipped it. And I think, if you, not you, Adam, but you, the listener, haven't been out there every Monday, your Monday will be way better if you just wake up and listen to Dan Campbell post-game speeches when the Lions win. I mean, you'll be a better person, a better parent, a better brother, father, mother, daughter, whatever you are. Just go listen to it. Trust me. This team has just got something special cooking. And I think, what really stands out to me is that, the fact, Aaron Glenn, great job on the defense. Ben Johnson, incredible job on the offense week after week with all these weapons. And then the fact that, the NBC did a piece on Gibbs and Montgomery talking about how they don't care who gets the yardage. And it's the same with the receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the top 10 NFL wide receiver, and he doesn't care if he's not getting targeted every play. They spread it around. They're really unselfish. They embody the head coach, and they just find different ways to win every single week. I want them, they're 8-1 now. I want them to go win the Super Bowl because it'd be awesome for that city. It'd be great for the coach. And I think it'd be cool for Jared Goff, who has really reinvented himself. And he's the number 1 pick and went to a Super Bowl with the Rams and was part of this offensive revolution with Sean McVay, but has somehow reinvented himself and is this hyper likable guy, which I think he is in Detroit. It's just this team. If you have to be a Packers, Bears, or Vikings fan to root against the Lions. That's the only excuse.
All right, I have 3 more teams I want to get, but I'm going to combine 2 of them, and that'll be the last one. San Francisco got Christian McCaffrey back. It looked like they were trying to lose to Tampa, but ultimately they won it because Jake Moody finally made a field goal. I guess he made 3.
Combine this with the Chiefs. Is that where this is going?
No. I'm not. No, this San Francisco is on its own.
Okay.
Are the 49ers with McCaffrey with enough of Deebo Samuel, because they have George Kittle? The other wide receivers they have are fine. They're not awesome. Jennings and Pearsall are fine, but if you have Kittle,
Pearsall might be good, man.
yeah, right. But I mean, he's a rookie and he's coming back from being shot in the offseason. I mean, that's just not a lie. I mean, it's amazing that he's A, alive, B, playing. But are the 49ers potentially the second best team in the NFC?
Yeah, they can be the best team in the NFC. I mean, they have 4 losses.
They can't.
Right?
They're not better than Detroit on their best day, I don't believe.
I don't know, man. Brock Purdy's done a lot of stuff without Christian McCaffrey, and now he gets his blanket back. That's a big deal. Their 4 losses, 1 score to Minnesota, 1 score to the Rams, both of those on the road. 1 score to an Arizona team that looks really good, and then they lost by 10 to the Chiefs, right? Other than that, they've handled their business. And, I think they've handled their business in a way where you lose Brandon Ayuk for the season. Deebo had some turbo COVID or the flu or something for 3 weeks. McCaffrey hasn't played at all this season. They've had a lot of bad luck. The defense has been banged up. Dre Greenlaw coming back from that Achilles injury at the Super Bowl. They've had a lot of bad luck, and they're still 5-4. Have a great coach. Now the schedule is not easy. They have the Seahawks, Packers, and Bills up next.
Yeah,
the Bears are trash. Another game with the Rams, Dolphins, and then the Lions and the Cardinals again. So it's a tough schedule, but I think in the NFC, even as tough as the NFC is, they are absolutely – they might not win the division. I think they probably should be close to the favorite, if not the favorite, to do so anyway. But, I mean, this is a team that's going to be a problem as they start to get healthier with the coaching they have and the talent they have for sure.
All right, final question. This is where we combine 2 teams, and we have no more than a minute. Who are more fun? Which team is more fun to watch completely implode? The Jets or the Cowboys?
The Cowboys. I mean, it's delightful. Jerry Jones is like, what do you want? You want to tear down the stadium and build a new one? It's like the Jets are just sad. Jerry's CeeDee Lamb is complaining about a sun in his face.
Yeah.
And Jerry, it's like, dude, they did WrestleMania there. They hung curtains. Just hang some blackout shades and stop letting your hubris interfere with your team's ability to win. The Jets are just sad and pathetic, and they're not it's not enjoyable. The Cowboys blowing up.
Sure, it is
extremely enjoyable.
I'd say they're both incredibly enjoyable, but Jerry is right. Jerry's like, we knew where the sun was. Yeah, everybody knows where the sun is. Yeah. Deal with it. Whatever. See that. What an excuse.
Maybe don't call a play call that involves a route into the sun. How about that, Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy's toast, by the way. I mean, he's gone.
Yeah, the Cowboys have not covered themselves in glory. Will Brinson, you have CBSSports.com, at Will Brinson on Twitter. All right, man, I'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, buddy. See you, man.
Take care. I thought that would not have been an easy decision.
Yeah, I know.
More fun to watch lose, the Cowboys or the Jets.
Yeah.
I think it's a push.
I know. Sometimes people are predisposed to certain things. Maybe they have friends that are super loud, so that's just more fun.
Very quickly, here's where the answer might be the Cowboys, is that, no offense, I know there are some wonderful Cowboys fans. Mm-hmm. You are in the minority.
Yes.
Okay? Cowboys fans are the most obnoxious in the sport. Jets fans, I feel sorry for.
Right.
I feel sorry for you. Mm-hmm. Like for many Panthers fans, mm-hmm. I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Your organization is always doing it wrong.
Failing you.
So, the Cowboys are in the same boat. All right, quick break. We'll come back. One-timers next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The NFL's week is almost over, and you have one more chance to make something out of it. Dolphins are at the Rams tonight, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, says new customers, you place a $5 wager and win that wager on tonight's game. You can do anything you like. Tyreek Hill receptions, Tyreek Hill touchdowns, Tua Tagovailoa passing yards, you name it. You win a $5 wager, you get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel.com/AGS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
ACT Construction Equipment is proud to be your certified local Takeuchi dealer in Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Asheville, Wilmington, and Myrtle Beach. Takeuchi has long been a world leader in the compact construction industry. Let ACT Construction Equipment help you find the right machine for the job. Our full line of excavators, track loaders, and attachments are designed for low maintenance and high productivity. Visit us online at actce.com to schedule a demo. ACT Construction Equipment, your authorized Takeuchi dealer.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a Generac home standby generator. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
According to the latest report on farmland loss in the United States, North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. If you own land that may be converted from agricultural use, the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services may be able to help. Grants for the purchase of development rights are available through the North Carolina Agricultural Development and Farmland Preservation Trust Fund. Landowners can learn more at ncadfp.org.
Having health insurance is important. So, if you or anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up. Check your mail for a renewal form from your state. Complete the form and mail it back right away so you don't lose your coverage. If you do lose Medicaid or CHIP, visit healthcare.gov to see if you're eligible to enroll in a low-cost, quality health plan. Keep your family covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Psst. Hello there. It's me, your internal clock. Yes, the one you sleep through on weekends. You've probably heard my TikToks, but I'm straight up sounding the bell now. It's almost time to start applying for college. That means you got transcripts to gather, letters of rec to request, and campus tours to schedule. But hey, we've got time, and we've got CFNC. CFNC.org can help us plan, apply, and pay for college. We got this, trust me. Just visit CFNC.org to help us stay on time.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
This is Adam Gold.
What, a minute 53 into the game? Heat of the moment?
Right.
What kind of heat of the moment is that? We haven't even gotten to simmer yet.
I know. Did someone flip him off in the parking lot? Like, what are we doing?
Seriously.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Focus a little bit more on a goofy weekend in the ACC coming up at the top of the hour, where Miami's loss was actually not the worst loss of the weekend, I think, for the Atlantic Coast Conference. We'll get to that. Right now, one-timers.
Okay, so many ways we can start. However, YouTube, some people have been chiming in, so I want to get to them so they know that we're actually, I'm watching. I see you. I hear you. So I think it's Zuda thinks that Dave Canales isn't naming a starting quarterback because he wants to keep the fire and Bryce going, but we all basically know it's going to be him. Do you think that's what he's doing?
I'm sorry, I laughed at the fire in Bryce. I don't know that a fire burns in Bryce or Dave Canales.
Yeah.
I just don't know that they're wired that way. But no, I think Dave Canales was just reluctant watching Bryce look competent.
Yeah.
Like if I was watching this quarterback the way he is playing, and again, I am not suggesting that he is headed for Canton, Ohio. But he looks like he can play a little bit, and I'm just not giving him enough as a head coach. Let it rip. You've got a great running back right now in Chuba Hubbard. There's got to be a way you can get to some play action and let Bryce throw more vertically. I think that's his strength. Anyway, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, next up we've got one more from...
But I appreciate Zuda.
Zuda, I think.
Zuda?
We have one more from Will on YouTube. And he was talking about the Canes in this one. So looking aside from goalie interference, he mentioned why wasn't the batted puck near the end of the third that went over the glass not a penalty?
We haven't talked about it. It should have been a penalty. But the way that replay works is that they would have to call it a penalty first and then have it challenged. They can't go to replay to determine whether or not it's a penalty. So all the time being taken where the referees huddle and discuss it, which could be used simply by using the video. Sorry. Yeah, dumb. It should have been a penalty, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Well, looking at the Carolina Panthers schedule, so they got their second win streak yesterday.
Yeah.
So they have a bye week, but then they play the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Eagles, the Cowboys, Cardinals, Bucks again, and Falcons. Do you see them coming away with more wins the rest of the season?
More wins than what?
Adding to their total.
No.
In the rest of the season.
No. If they can get one, that would be pretty good. Watch it be the Chiefs, who, by the way, won again by accident.
Barely won that one. Yes.
A very makeable field goal by Denver at the end was blocked by Kansas City. 8-0 out of nowhere.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold for my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary, who in 1987 invented the no closing cost mortgage. And back then, people weren't sure whether or not it was a good thing. But rates started to drop. And then people went, oh my gosh, wait, if rates are dropping, I'll just refinance. Wait, I don't have to pay closing costs to refinance? That's right. So you save thousands in not paying closing costs, and then when the rates drop, you save hundreds. And then the rates continued to drop, and people continued to refinance, never paying closing costs, and then lowering their monthly payment. The last time I refinanced my mortgage, I saved not only no closing cost money, so thousands, I saved over $300 a month on my mortgage. Wouldn't you like to be that person? Don't worry about timing. Don't worry about what the rate is. It's going to drop. Gordon says mid-5s next year. Mid-5s next year. What's the rate right now? It's in the 7s. Miller Lending. Don't ever pay closing costs because you don't have to. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 2502146.
Hey, girl. Haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope. Sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Yes.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
'Tis the season for family and friends. 'Tis the season for gifting. And 'tis the season for making holiday dreams come true. 'Tis the season for using the old-timey contraction "tis." And 'tis the time of year for holiday scratch-offs. With over $85 million in total prizes, 'tis the best gift of all.
'Tis the season to gift endless joy with holiday scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.06 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
From the Canes to the Panthers to all of the college sports in the Triangle, we cover it all on the Best of the Drive with Tim Donnelly podcast. Brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
On this Veterans Day, Edwards Incorporated honors the brave men and women who have served our country. Your courage, sacrifice, and commitment to freedom have shaped our nation, and we are grateful for all you've done. At Edwards Incorporated, we share a can-do attitude that started over 40 years ago when our founder came home from service as a U.S. Marine to start Edwards Incorporated with a pickup truck and a welding machine. On this special day and every day, we salute all who have served and those who continue to serve.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Bryce crouches under center. Here's the snap. Handoff. Hubbard straight ahead. Touchdown, Chuba. Jones out of the shotgun. On the delay. Tracy hitting the backfield. Lost the football. And the Panthers say they have it. And they do. Officially a 36-yarder. Jansen snap. Hecker's hold. Pinero's kick. It is up. And Eddie wins it for the Panthers in OT.
So exciting. So exciting.
Right?
Can we get the highlight, if we find it in like German radio? I'm sure it was broadcast in German.
I heard, yeah, they did do a German version. It sounds very aggressive. The German language is just very aggressive.
It has
Scary.
It has to be difficult.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, I would love to hear the play-by-play call in German.
I'll have to look it up. It's
but
not
good,
as fun.
good for the Panthers. Part of me was disappointed in the overtime. I was glad the Panthers won. But, let's not overlook that. It was great to see the joy on Bryce Young's face when they recovered the fumble, and he knew the game was over. But part of me wanted the Giants to either move the football or punt so we could, or even score, kick a field goal, so we could see Bryce operate with stakes. Watching him hand the ball off needlessly 3 times was actually a bummer. It was a downer. Part of me, I'm not even going to lie here, I was rooting for Chuba Hubbard to fumble because I wanted to see. I'm about watching him develop as a player, and there was nothing developing about those 3 play calls. In fact, I had more questions than anything about Dave Canales because I don't understand why you'd run even 2 plays. Just set Eddie Pinheiro up. Hey, Eddie, where do you want to be in terms of between the hash marks? Left hash, right hash, somewhere in the middle, right of center, almost all the way but not quite to the hash. Where would you like the ball to be spotted? That's the only question I have because you weren't trying to pick up yards. So run 1 play, get it to where you want it to be on the field, and that's it. Snap, kick it, and let's go. I don't understand why you ran 3 plays. I just don't. It just, to me, was a waste and a risk. I mean, you were clearly going to win the game. I mean, heck, I would have kicked it on first down. That's what you were going to do. Just send the field goal team out. Too many things could have happened badly if that's all you were going to do. With that said, I thought we saw some nice things from Bryce. I thought it was another encouraging performance. We have now seen, that was Andy Dalton. Even the loss of the Falcons was good. The first 2 games for Bryce were bad. The game against Denver was bad. The one drive he had at the end of whatever game it was fine, but it didn't matter, so can't count it. But the last 2 games have been encouraging. Let's see more encouraging from Bryce. So I still don't understand why you won't name Bryce the starting quarterback, because Bryce is going to start. Just like we knew Bryce would start in Germany, Bryce is going to start the next game. They're off this week, right? They're
in a bye week.
Bye week, and then they get the Chiefs coming out of the bye week.
Yes.
Awesome.
It'd be great.
Oh, man. But it doesn't matter. Bryce is going to be the guy. All right. We haven't talked a lot about college football. I do want to get to State Duke, and we will. But in our second take on the news of the day, to me, the Atlantic Coast Conference lost big time twice. And I know the shiny object was Miami's loss at Georgia Tech, which we could see coming. That light at the end of the tunnel was a train. It wasn't a light. Well, it was a light, but it was coming at you. Miami had been playing with this for a while. And while there were opportunities to come back and beat Georgia Tech, they weren't the better team at any point. It wasn't just Miami making mistakes. They just weren't better than Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has, I think, already proven it to be a difficult out. So that was a deserved loss by Miami. But in my opinion, it was not the worst loss of the weekend for the ACC. Because when we're trying to figure out how does the Atlantic Coast Conference get 2 teams into this 12-team playoff, the path to me was pretty clear. Pittsburgh had to be good all the way through. Even if they had lost because they lost to SMU, so SMU needs Pitt to be good. So if Pitt wins out and ends up like 10th in the poll, it makes SMU look better. And if Pitt wins out, it would be with wins over Clemson and Louisville. And wait, Pitt looks better. And then at home, they lose to Virginia, who lost at home to North Carolina, who gave up 70 points to James Madison. So what do we make of that? What we make of that is Pitt isn't good enough to be a good win even for SMU. I guess unless Pitt were to beat Clemson and Louisville. But do you think the team that loses at home to Virginia is going to beat Clemson and Louisville? I don't. So, okay then. Good feeling gone. That was a much worse loss than Miami. Miami's going to make the playoff if they win the ACC championship. And as long as Miami doesn't lose another regular season game, which they could lose at Syracuse. Keep that in mind. But as long as Miami can finish 11-1, they'll play SMU in the conference championship game. They win that. They're in the playoff as the 3rd or 4th seed. If they lose that, they're probably out. Yeah, that was a damaging loss for them because it does put them in a win or probably go home place because Miami doesn't have any great wins either. They just don't. Florida State stinks. Florida State can't beat anybody. Just fired all their coordinators. Literally, Florida State fired both of their offensive and defensive coordinators and their wide receivers coach. It's going to cost them nearly $5 million in salaries to fire those three coaches. Okay. Well, I don't know. I actually trust Mike Norvell, but that just seems like if I don't do this, I'm going to get fired. Okay. But I think the Pitt loss was worse than the Miami loss for me. Clemson had a good win at Virginia Tech. So I don't know. Can Clemson get back in this? They're going to need help. They're going to either need an SMU loss. I think SMU only has 2 conference games left. Home at Boston College. I think is it at BC? Not 100% sure. And they also play Cal. So those are the 2 games that I believe they have left. I don't think they're losing either of those 2 games, which means that Miami's going to have to lose a game before Clemson can get into the ACC championship game. Don't think that's happening. I don't think 2-loss Clemson is going to the college football playoff unless they thump Pitt and they thump South Carolina. If they do those 2 things, if they win those games big, then maybe they can sneak in as a 2-loss team based on laundry. Because they also haven't necessarily beaten anybody all that good. But again, ACC football continues to be what ACC football is. All right, let me get to the Hurricanes' loss in Denver. So the Canes were ahead 2-0, middle of the second period on a power play, and it looked like a typical Canes, we're better than you, you can't get the puck from us type of a game. It had all the earmarks of exactly what Carolina had been doing to basically everybody since the Tampa game ended. On the power play, Shane Gostisbehere on the right side of the ice tried to make a cross-ice pass. Cale Makar read it like Gostisbehere was Sam Darnold throwing into the flat, and he stepped in front of the pass, went the other way, got to the top of the face-off circles, and wasn't even going to bother with a breakaway trying to score like you would in a shootout. He just reared back and blasted it past Spencer Martin. That made it 2-1, but what it really did was it lit the match on the Avalanche. From that point on, in the rest of the period, the Avalanche scored 5 goals in 9 minutes and 34 seconds. Mind you, Carolina scored in the middle of that. Colorado scored twice in about a 3-minute span to tie it up at 2. And then Carolina got another power play, which was trash until Marty Necas scored on a beautiful, high-speed entry pass from Jarvis to Necas at the front of the goal. 3-2, Carolina's got the lead back. That didn't last very long. Nathan McKinnon made a couple of dominant plays, and then they scored on a deflection. That's when Rod Brindamore challenged for goaltender interference, which to me was ill-advised simply because, do you remember Carolina ever winning a goaltender interference challenge?
Nope.
I've seen goals taken off the board when Carolina scores them.
Right.
And I am in no way suggesting a conspiracy. I really am not. I am not suggesting that Carolina has been hard done by refereeing decisions.
It's just facts.
I can't recall the Hurricanes getting a goal taken away when their goalie was interfered with, and I can't recall a time where they won a challenge when they scored a goal. Cannot. So maybe with that in mind, I wouldn't have challenged. But I understand why Rod Rod Brindamore did because it's clear that Spencer Martin was interfered with by the skate of Nathan MacKinnon. However, in my opinion, he was sort of steered into Martin by Andrei Svechnikov from behind. Was there a ton of contact? No. Was there enough to sort of help MacKinnon into Martin? I believe there was. But after the game, Brindamore said the referee said there was no contact. I can't even fathom how you could say that. Anyway, it led to a 5-on-3 power play because Carolina went down a man, and then Jalen Chatfield committed a high sticking penalty. No argument on the high stick. 0. But the challenge leads to the bench minor, which leads to the 5-on-3, which even though it wasn't a 5-on-3 goal for Colorado, the goal was scored immediately after the 5-on-3 expired. So, and they lost the hockey game. Not a big deal. Now we'll see what happens tonight in Vegas. Late night game, by the way, for all those of us here in the East. I'm tired already. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be really punchy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Really punchy tomorrow.
Sponsored by Double Caffeine.
Yeah, all of it. Sponsored by Celsius, which on the low is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I need to try it.
Effective.
Yeah.
Very effective. But they called up 2 players. They called up Ty Smith, a defenseman, Tyson Jost, a forward. So they are not calling up 2 players if they're not concerns with 2 players. So I thought we saw Jalen Chatfield kind of hobbled at times. I think we also might have seen Jack Drury hobbled a little bit. So keep in mind that the Hurricanes might be dealing with a couple of injuries tonight. And my favorite development of the game was that Rod Brindamore jumbled his lines and fans were having kittens. And I know why. And I'm good with it. I'm good with what he did. It's time people recognize that Jordan Martinook isn't just a checking forward.
No.
Jordan Martinook is a good player who makes others around him better. If you can't grasp that he, not for long stretches, but at times is good enough to play with your best players, and they put him with Aho and Necas, who got the first goal, the only goal of the third period. It was them. They got the goal. If Rod Brindamore wants to keep Martinook, Aho, and Necas together on Carolina's top line, go for it. I am here for it. I think it's cool. Hurricanes fans lose their minds.
Yes, they do. Oh.
Get over it, people.
Yeah. Rod knows what he's doing.
Last I checked.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's qualified.
Facts only. All right, when we come back, Chris Spatola, ESPN and SiriusXM college basketball maven, also a veteran. We will wish him a good Veterans Day, and we will talk about Carolina's win. I'm sorry, not win. My apologies. Carolina's game at Kansas, which they rallied from 20 down to take the lead. Actually had a 3-point lead at one point. And just didn't have enough at the end at Kansas. Great college basketball game. We need more of these. We're going to see Duke and Kentucky, by the way, tomorrow. And Duke is 2-0 after the win over Army. We'll talk to Chris Spatola about that and more next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Tokaji scores! And it's 1-0 Carolina!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 9:30. Puck Drop at 10.
Now Stahl all alone on Schmidt. He scores! Roll the highlight reel. Oh, Captain, my Captain!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I live and work on both coasts, travel the country, and there's nothing better than Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and half-price appetizers Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. Visit all 5 Triangle locations and ask for their great daily beer specials. And how about this special? Every Sunday, they have $6 Bloody Marys and $6.50 Jamesons. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Surprise someone this holiday season with a gift of Remote Start under the tree. At Soundstation and Security, we can install remote start systems in your car. Start your car from inside your house while you eat breakfast, and it's all toasty warm by the time you get inside. Or on those hot summer days that are sure to come, start your car and get the air condition running so you don't sweat. A remote start system is an awesome gift, and you can get it at Soundstation and Security with 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
The Ram Black Friday sales event is going on now, with great deals on a wide selection of powerful and dependable Ram trucks. Now finance and get $7,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for this Black Friday offer. $7,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 12/2/24.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their Express Equity line of credit. So call now. Get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today and you won't make a house payment till 2025. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com, free rate quote now, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Every season can be punishing for your roof. Mother Nature is a fierce opponent that doesn't take a break, which is why you need RoofWorks on your building maintenance team. Hi, this is Holly from RoofWorks. We specialize in keeping your commercial roof in great condition no matter what the issue may be. We offer roof inspections, roof repairs, and if needed, a full roof replacement. We help determine if there's a problem with your roof and advise you on the most cost-effective way to handle it. Contact us today at roofworks.com. That's roofworks.com.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
This is Adam Gold.
Dan on Twitter, who you got? Robert Plant or Elvis Presley? That is actually very difficult because I don't want to disrespect Elvis Presley. I think it's Elvis. It's very, very close. And that is an incredible question.
The Adam Gold Show.
Happy Veterans Day to all. I am Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show. Victoria producing on the ones and twos. She's conducting the band.
I am. I've done it before, too, in like real life.
Oh, you have?
I was a drum major in high school. I was that level of band nerd.
Could you do the baton thing?
We didn't have a baton. It's probably best that I didn't have a baton.
Okay. Okay. I don't need to know.
No, somebody would have lost an eye. It would have just flown out.
I don't need to know. I think this has become, like, almost accidentally, but maybe not, an annual. Chris Spatola, ESPN and SiriusXM college basketball analyst and a veteran
and I think I asked you the same thing last year, sir, at Chris_Spatola on Twitter. I don't know if I wish somebody a happy Veterans Day or just, a Veterans Day. So thank you very much for your service and your time today. How are you?
I'm doing great, Adam. I tell you, it sets up the call that you have the nicest call screener in Victoria that I've ever been greeted with. She is class all the way.
She's the best.
So let me get that out of the way. You did ask that last year, and I think it's a very good question because we don't want people conflicted on how you greet veterans.
Right.
Happy Veterans Day is perfect.
Okay.
I think it's perfect. Thank you for your service. Anything in that line, man, is all game.
Before I get to basketball, is today a solemn day for you? I mean, how do you, when people say Happy Veterans Day, I'm sure you have thoughts of your time holding a weapon. So what is today like for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a great question. It's not a solemn day by any stretch. And, I think, obviously, we've had a volunteer military for a long time. But the culture of service and the culture of the military is vastly different now than it was even 10 years ago, and the number of lives that are touched by the military are fewer and fewer. And it just, it's almost like the Army and the Marines and the entire military is doing their work in the dead of night almost, which is to say, and that's how it should be done. That's how it should be done. It's one of the advantages of having a volunteer service. But, it's a profession where you're not doing it for recognition. You're not doing it for praise. You're certainly not doing it for good salary and pay. But
right.
to have a day where we as a country can step out and say, hey, thank you for what you've done, or thank you for what you're doing, I think is a great thing. And it brings that service to the forefront. So it's anything but solemn. It's a great day to be proud.
All right, Chris Spatola is joining us here, ESPN, SiriusXM college basketball analyst, and he had the first two Duke games, so we will get to Duke. They played Army on Friday, and next year on Veterans Day, Duke will play at Army. When you heard about this, that had to be cool. I'm sure, what's his name, that Mike Krzyzewski guy might have had some influence on this?
Yeah, influence. I don't know. It's a good question. I think it's a great gesture from John Shire, first of all, to even be willing to do this. And look, the home and home industry and the buy game industry is what it is. And for Duke to go up there and not make it a home game, which they obviously could make Army do. Duke ends up losing a lot of money by going up there, frankly. Yeah. So for John to do that is a good thing, and it pays homage, obviously, to Coach K and what he's done to both institutions. But I also think it's a recognition, like playing Army is different, and Army has been down to Duke a number of times without the return, and so for John to say, look, I'm going to bring my team up there, I think it's a great thing. And to be honest, Adam, I think his players are going to love it, especially if they've never been up there. Like, to see that place and to see what cadets go through and to be embraced by that environment, I think will be great for his players. And it's a great – those two schools, from a basketball standpoint, should have a relationship. And I think John going up there solidifies that.
They should play the game outside at Michie Stadium, which might be the greatest setting for a college football event in the history of this earth.
Amen. Let's do it.
I'm a big fan of Michie Stadium. All right, we have we've spoken for like 6 minutes. We haven't talked about basketball yet. Let's get to the games that you saw real quick, and then I want to get to the Tar Heels playing at Kansas. Cooper Flagg didn't shoot the ball well in the first game. He shot it much better. But played well in both. Con Knippel is going to be a problem for people in the Atlantic Coast Conference. What were your impressions of Duke through two games that you've seen them in person?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, to Cooper Flagg, and I said this during the Army game, we're going to have to temper our analysis a little bit about him and understand that there's a much bigger picture with that dude. I mean, his scoring numbers being what they were, I think he was double figures rebounding in both games. So, I mean, he had a double-double in both of those games. That's sort of the analysis. The impact that he and Knippel will have on a game. They could go for 25 in a game, go for 7 in the next, and the impact in both of those games will be of the same degree. That's the analysis with both of those guys. And then I look, they're their two best players by far. But I think what John has done is he has geared the personnel around them to sort of fit what those two guys do well. And you have, we've got there's 3 transfers that Duke has that are perfect fits.
Yep.
I think the more Caleb Foster and Tyrese Proctor embrace what their role needs to be, they need to be the Derek White and Drew Holiday of this team, which is not an insult.
No.
Compliment. I mean, those two guys are champions. They were both Olympic gold medalists. I mean, they're both great players in their own right. But, their usage on the Celtics is only about 17% so far this season. I think if those two guys can embrace that. The one concern just in seeing them now over the 2 exhibitions and the two games, they have 63s in the 4 games. And part of that is, they're not playing great opponents.
Right.
The other thing is defensively, Adam, they've gotten a little bit loose. I think there's a lot of growth to be had there. They got a little bit lazy, a little bit loose towards the end of both the Maine and the Army games. And that's not to say they can't tighten it up. But we'll see on Tuesday night because that Kentucky team's a different team to have to guard. So the concern I have with Duke right now in the early is are they against the best teams? Can they defend well enough, and can they rebound against those opponents?
Yeah, they got out rebounded by Maine, so that would have been a concern there. Also, Kamen Malawash, again, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm probably not that far off, but it's going to take him time, especially as the competition grows. Although I watched him in the Olympics, he looked like a pretty good player during the summer games. So we know the potential in that player, but they've got others, and whether it's Malik Brown or Mason Gillis, they've got options. Maybe not as many options up front, but, man, they have so many options on the wing. They have guys who, 4 or 5-star players that are probably not going to play in Isaiah Evans, maybe Darren Harris either. All right, to the Tar Heels, who I know there were probably some people that left them for lost at halftime when it was, just before halftime. I think it was 53-33 at one point. Carolina got it to 15 right at the break, and then just played a dynamite second half, a great second half. What do you like the most about that team?
Yeah, well, I think with them, certainly in the preseason, I think sometimes with analysis, Adam, we can focus on what a team doesn't have versus what they do have. And right now they have the fastest trio. They're a fast team, but they have the fastest guard trio of anybody playing right now. And we talk so much about the paint and how are they going to be able to, manage themselves in the paint, especially against that front line of Kansas. Well, first of all, you look at, one way to gauge how a team is managing itself in the paint is the rebounding differential. Well, they out-rebounded Kansas, first and foremost. Second of all, just looking at paint points and saying, well, Kansas had 50 paint points, Carolina's 32. Well, you have to factor in free throws as a part of that. Mm-hmm. Because those 3 guards took 27 of the 31 free throws. They were 25 of 27 from the foul line, those 3 guards. It was them getting into the paint. That is cornering the market on paint scoring. So, their ability to do that, and then them getting in there, it comes down to with them the ability of those other guys to play off of them. I thought Jalen Withers did a really nice job in the second half, just finding space off of their penetration. It's a little bit like, you remember Marquise Noel a couple years ago at Kansas State?
Yeah.
I had a lot of his games that year. And one of the things that I really appreciated about the evolution of their team is how, and the three Carolina guards are actually better scorers in the paint than he was. Like, they're actually pretty strong and physical, even though they're small at finishing. But what that Kansas State team did so well is those other guys figured out how to play off of him. And I think that's where the evolution of Carolina can come from. And then you saw a little bit, again, to the point on the glass, like, those guys get in the paint, they draw so much attention. Now all of a sudden, Jalen Washington's got a running start from the perimeter to the offensive glass. Withers has a running start. Van Allen Lubin's got a running start to the glass. So they're doing it differently, and a lot like Shire kind of manufacturing a system around the personnel. I think Hubert's done a great job with it. And I think you got to look. Are there games where they're going to get mashed inside? Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think we got to start focusing on what they do well and versus what they don't have.
Those three guards are dynamite. I think Seth Trimble might be an NBA player when it's all said and done because of his athleticism. If he can develop more of a three-point shot, he might be an NBA player down the road. But those three guards, and I think that we saw was that Powell sort of hesitated too many times when he got the ball in the wing. Be more decisive. Take a shot. If you take one and make it, now they're coming at you, and you can ball fake and go by people. I like Ian Jackson, but yeah, I think that team is going to be a ton of fun to watch. My only real fear about them is are they going to have trouble? Because they can be very small. Are they even going to get dominated by bigger guards? That's my bigger fear with them, is that their guards could get exposed. But, man, they are a dynamite and fun team to watch, and they do get to the free throw line. And then I was exploring the interwebs, Chris Spatola, which apparently Al Gore invented for military use back in the day. And there is this fascinating article on hoopshq.com about how college basketball can be transformed simply by changing the schedule. And it was written by this Chris Spatola guy. So I miss, by the way, when you used to write for The Athletic, because I thought, all thoughtful stuff, but you're kind of an underrated great writer. So I think this is a great idea, simply to flip the concentration of the games where you had more conference games early, which would get, by the way, since conference games are popular on TV, which would get people watching college basketball in November and December and not waiting for January and February to watch, and play more non-conference games in the second half of the year.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you bringing it up. I mean, you made the point. Obviously, there's a television component to this. Like, how do you make the game more palatable to television partners? I think the other point I was trying to make in the piece was, so much of our NCAA tournament analysis, and I'm a believer that everything we do in college basketball needs to be geared to the tournament. Well, so much of that analysis, that NCAA tournament analysis, is driven by what happens in November and December. Well, that means we're probably not getting a true look at who is most deserving of inclusion in the NCAA tournament if we are driving a large part of that analysis, and the analytics are driving a large part of its calculation based on November and December games. And so I think it serves the sport much more from a discussion standpoint, gives the committee a much better look at who's deserving of NCAA inclusion when you start playing games across these conferences. And then you get to see, hey, look, the Mountain West doesn't deserve that number of teams if the analysis is strictly driven by them playing other Mountain West teams. Mm-hmm. Like, let's get some of these non-conference games played in January, February, and early March so that now we can say, yeah, the SEC or the Big 12 is not as good as we think it is. And yeah, this ACC, they really do get better in those latter months. So there's a lot to do with it. And to your point, like, whether you disagree, college basketball is at a precipice right now, and it is time for some bold, sweeping action on how we can make this sport more palatable, both from a viewing standpoint and then play into the one shining object that we have, which is the postseason tournament.
So and I know you referred to it here, but I was on this kick all last year that when you got to conference play, it was so hard for the ACC to have quad one games. If you were the home team,
right,
if you were lucky, you had like 2 quad one opportunities on your schedule. All your quad one opportunities came on the road in the ACC. But in the Big 12, every game was quad one or at worst quad two, because like the way I said it was they gamed the system early, built huge power rankings numbers, and then once you have a fabric of the season, those don't change. They stay pretty constant. You'd have to go on like a 5 or 6 game losing streak to drop 20 points in the net when once you've played like 15 games, most of those in the non-conference. And some of them were good games, and they won some of them, but others were terrible games, and they won all those. So the ACC didn't play the right non-conference schedule. I thought the ACC was pretty good in the non-conference, maybe not as good, but it wasn't a separation where when we got to conference play, the ACC wasn't playing any quad one games. And they kept telling us that, well, that's not all we're looking at. I said, but that's all you talk about is quad. It's a quad one. It's a quad one. It's a quad one. I'm like, of course it matters. So I think your system, and I would elect you czar of college basketball, Chris. Your system would do a lot about fixing that.
Hey, that's one vote. Thanks, Adam.
The election's over. I've been sworn to not talk about it. Chris, you're the best. Happy Veterans Day to you. Chris Spatola. Chris @Chris_Spatola on Twitter or X or whatever. Thanks, man. Best to you and yours. I'll talk to you soon.
You too, Adam. Be well, man.
You got it. Chris Spatola here. All right. This is a conversation we had all last year. And I'm going to tweet out the article, because it doesn't really get lost in the weeds. It just explains this is what happens here, this is what happens here. And we talked about it all last season. I'm not even suggesting that the ACC was a better league than the Big 12. That was never the point. But the point is, there's no way that it was so dramatic that the ACC could only get 5 teams into the field. Based on the way it's done, yeah, that made a lot of sense. Based on the available information to the committee, they probably did get it right. But how is that information formed is what this is about. And think about this. Duke and Illinois will play a non-conference game, and Illinois should be good. They'll play a non-conference game in the middle of the season. I think it's in February, which used to be routine. We used to routinely have big non-conference matchups in January and February. I remember there were back-to-back years where Duke's second-to-last game was played, or second-to-last game, or maybe the weekend before the Carolina game was against UCLA. I mean, coast to coast. And we don't do that anymore. It's rare anyway. But we should do it. And if you moved conference games to November and December, which are very attractive to TV, TV is the reason why leagues add conference games, by the way. Then you're getting better matchups. No offense to Army. No offense to Maine. Those games can still be there. But rather than have a string of why are we playing these games and what are we getting out of it? Or do you really care? I mean, the diehards do. But are casual college basketball fans apt to, oh, man, Duke's playing Presbyterian tonight. I got to see that. Or if you said Duke was playing Louisville tonight in November. Well, that's a much I got to watch that. I'm a Duke fan, but I like the ACC. I'll watch Duke Louisville. Oh, wait, Duke and State are playing on November 22nd? Oh, baby. Color me in. And then when we get into January and February, maybe that's the better time for the ACC SEC Challenge. Maybe that's the better time for the Champions Classic. Or the home and home that Carolina and Kansas are going to play. Or that Duke and Arizona are playing. This year, Duke goes to Arizona, right? Arizona came to Cameron Indoor Stadium last year. Makes a lot more sense. Also, it gives you an opportunity in the second half of the season to say, see, our league doesn't suck like you say it sucks, Jeff Goodman. Kidding. I love Jeff Goodman. Field of 68. All right. We'll come back. We will stretch. We will place bets next hour. It was a good weekend, almost a perfect weekend in Charlotte.
Yes.
Panthers won.
Not in Charlotte.
It wasn't in Charlotte, but there were fans.
Right, yes.
Right? Panthers won.
Yep.
Hornets won.
Wow.
I think they talk about it too. I think they're on a 2-game winning streak, right? And Charlotte FC almost upset Orlando City. Willie P. Style will talk to us next hour. Will Palaszczuk, the voice of Charlotte FC, and he hosts for like all the teams. So we'll talk to him next hour. But stretching and wagering is next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The NFL's week is almost over, and you have one more chance to make something out of it. Dolphins are at the Rams tonight, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, says new customers, you place a $5 wager and win that wager on tonight's game. You can do anything you like. Tyreek Hill receptions, Tyreek Hill touchdowns, Tua Tagovailoa passing yards, you name it. You win a $5 wager, you get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel.com/AGS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here. But don't worry, North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance has you covered for all your health insurance needs, including Medicare. And with offices in every county, a trusted, experienced agent is just around the corner, ready to help find a plan that's right for you. Visit ncfbins.com or stop by your local office today. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
NC Medicaid is for people just like me.
Adults who don't have children.
People who serve.
People who do the heavy lifting.
Childcare teachers. Full healthcare coverage at low or no cost.
Doctor's visits, emergency rooms, and prescriptions.
So if you applied before and didn't get it, apply again.
NC Medicaid covers more people than ever before.
Get full healthcare coverage at low cost, no monthly fees, and $4 max copays. NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
According to the latest report on farmland loss in the United States, North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. If you own land that may be converted from agricultural use, the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services may be able to help. Grants for the purchase of development rights are available through the North Carolina Agricultural Development and Farmland Preservation Trust Fund. Landowners can learn more at ncadfp.org.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a Generac home standby generator. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
Have you lost North Carolina Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
all covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Psst. Hello there. It's me, your internal clock. Yes, the one you sleep through on weekends. You've probably heard my TikToks, but I'm straight up sounding the bell now. It's almost time to start applying for college. That means you got transcripts to gather, letters of rec to request, and campus tours to schedule. But hey, we've got time, and we've got CFNC. CFNC.org can help us plan, apply, and pay for college. We got this, trust me. Just visit CFNC.org to help us stay on time.
This is Adam Gold.
We don't need Al Roker in a suit doing yoga.
No.
And Al, to his credit, recognized that and said, you know what? I am not getting into Warrior 2.
I'm stopping at Downward Dog.
There will be no, he didn't get to that. Like, heck no.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Happy Veterans Day. Thanks to Chris Spatola for joining us today.
Who was in the Army?
He was.
Yes.
Yes. West Point grad.
Mm-hmm.
Played basketball at West Point.
Mm-hmm.
Spent time as an assistant coach at Duke. Now is killing it.
Yeah.
On ESPN and SiriusXM. Just a dynamite guy. All right. We're going to stretch, then we're going to place bets, so we should do that.
Well, like you mentioned, it is Veterans Day. And if you have a vet in your family like myself, my dad's a Marine, and I have a whole family full of them. My grandpa was in World War II. I had cousins from, in Afghanistan. You need to take advantage of all the free food today.
Okay. I thought this was going to become a USAA commercial.
No, but USA Today did make a big list of places that you should hit up today to get all your free food. I mean, it starts with breakfast. We're already past that. But if you like afternoon coffee, then places like Starbucks and Dunkin' are all doing specials, so you can get things there. Also, if you haven't had lunch, or there's dinner coming up, Buffalo Wild Wings, they're going to give out free wings to people. Applebee's, Chili's, all these places locally. Also places like Golden Corral, Firehouse Subs. Lots of places, but you can check it out on the internet if you want to. But you should totally hit it up. Like, eat everywhere.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, eat all day. Like, you deserve it. So yes, hit those places up. And thank you for what you did. Now, this is also fitting to me finding that information because apparently the average American now spends about 6 hours a day consuming content.
What?
Now, content, which you think, like, how do I have time for this? I don't even have 6 hours to sleep. Well, it could be anything from TikTok to even reading books, they say, or listening to us on the radio. Thank you. Or streaming us on YouTube. All of that is consuming content. And they say most of like Gen Zers are the ones who do it the most at 6.5 hours a day. So there's that.
Really?
But they're saying people in their 80s are still hitting it up because they're getting about 4 hours and 48 minutes.
Wow.
So they got plenty of time, I guess, to do it. And the average person spends, which I feel like this is on the shorter end, but spends about $67 a month on content, which is like Netflix, Hulu, cable. I think it's a little more.
Yeah, it is more. Has to be.
I'm going to say, I think it is a little more. And this also said that a lot of people rewatch old stuff, which I understand. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and again, I'll go on like an Office binge where I love The Office. That's my favorite show.
No, man, if an Ocean's movie is on, I'm watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So it's always happening. But, yeah. So while you're spending your content doing that, just keep in mind, maybe look at your phone where it tells you how long you've been spending, because apparently it's 6 hours a day. And last but not least, not only is today Veterans Day, but it is also National Medal Day.
Metal or metal? MEDAL.
Metal, like the music, not actual.
Oh, heavy metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, the music that I like. So some of my music, but this is all steering from. This is Spinal Tap. It is a classic metal mockumentary that they decided on the 11th in 2011 that this was going to be the day for us metalheads. So if you're a vet and you also like metal, you know, you can listen to it while you go get some free food somewhere.
Yeah.
Or while you play some bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm just looking at this. All of mine are going to be football bets. And I really need this guy to score probably like 10 touchdowns tonight so I can win in my fantasy league.
Okay.
But give me Achane to be an anytime goal scorer. He's plus 110.
All right. I'm going to give you two football. We'll do them one at a time. We'll just start with the game itself. Rams and Dolphins. It's in L.A. Give me the Rams under 48.5 plus 209.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, first half total. Will it be over, under 23.5? I'm going to go with over. Why not? Let's do it. 23.5. It is minus 225, but put it in a parlay.
Kyron Williams, running back for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
2 or more touchdowns plus 270.
Ooh, nice. Well, last but not least, who's going to win this game? The Dolphins need to win this game. I don't know if they will, but give me the Dolphins to win because they need to. They're underdogs, so plus 120.
They're very close to being completely eliminated from winning the division.
Yes.
If they lose, we're not quite there.
Yeah, but it's close.
But it's like, I think the magic number is 2.
Get the forks ready.
Buffalo's magic number to win the East, AFC East, is 3. And we have 2 more games before Thanksgiving. Just want to let everybody know that.
Yep.
All right. So I've already given you 2 football games. You know the Hurricanes are favored in Vegas tonight?
Oh, okay. I mean, we'll take it, I guess.
What?
I mean,
Really?
it doesn't make any sense, but
favored on the right Vegas.
I know.
Okay, fine. If you do Vegas and under 6.5, it's plus 289. Like, that might not be a terrible thing. Cale Makar, 2 or more points today in Colorado's home match against the Nashville Predators, plus 134. Nathan McKinnon is minus money for 2 or more points tonight. That is silly. Minus money, Nathan McKinnon. Cale Makar at least give you some value, plus 134.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
On this Veterans Day, Edwards Incorporated honors the brave men and women who have served our country. Your courage, sacrifice, and commitment to freedom have shaped our nation, and we are grateful for all you've done. At Edwards Incorporated, we share a can-do attitude that started over 40 years ago when our founder came home from service as a U.S. Marine to start Edwards Incorporated with a pickup truck and a welding machine. On this special day and every day, we salute all who have served and those who continue to serve.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
planning a tailgate? Then it's Bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the Jumbo Tailgate Special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's Tailgate Special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles Tailgate Special, and go! It's Bow time.
'Tis the season for family and friends. 'Tis the season for gifting. And 'tis the season for making holiday dreams come true. 'Tis the season for using the old-timey contraction 'tis. And 'tis the time of year for holiday scratch-offs. With over $85 million in total prizes, 'tis the best gift of all.
'Tis the season to gift endless joy with holiday scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.06 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Experts say that heating costs are increasing up to 23% this winter. And if your windows aren't from Window Nation, your money is literally going out the window. They have some of the best insulated windows so your heat stays inside. And right now, get these amazing windows at 50% off. Plus, you could save even more money with 0% interest for 5 years. Hurry, sale ends November 30th. Schedule your fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Goff takes the snap, fakes the handoff, swings it out right side, caught by St. Brown, runs across the 5, into the end zone, touchdown Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown with his 7th touchdown catch of the year, 7th straight game with a receiving touchdown, and somehow the Lions have pulled within 4 with 11:38 remaining in the game. Here's the snap, ball down, the kick is on the way, end over end, it is good! Just inside the left upright, and the Lions win! The Lions steal one in Houston. 26-23 is the final, and the Detroit Lions have gone to 8-1 on the season, their 7th straight win.
That was crazy last night because, not gonna lie, they came out of the locker room. Were you watching the game last night, Victoria?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Come out of the locker room, and the interview of Dan Campbell, before, as they're playing it, they recorded it before the half started.
Mm-hmm.
And the interview with Dan Campbell said, man, we're going to need turnovers. We got to get a couple of turnovers in this half. Defense, one, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
First play.
Boom.
Great interception.
Ask and you shall receive.
I'm not really sure it was an interception, but it was ruled an interception. Doesn't matter. And I thought, look at that.
I know.
And then Jared Goff threw one right back.
I know.
And
back
at that point, I went, all right, not Detroit's night.
Mm-mm.
And I turned on it's a 3-part documentary. Documentary is probably not the right term. Maybe it is. On the Red Sox comeback win over the Yankees in the 2004
yes.
American League Championship Series.
It's actually called The Comeback.
It is called The Comeback. Mm-hmm. The first episode is really all about 2003. It's more historical background.
Yeah.
And phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I loved every second of of the first episode. I'm looking forward to the rest of it, but I only watched that one episode. Then I went to bed.
Yeah.
And when I got inside, I turned on the game, figuring, well, I'll just see what the end of this game is. And Detroit had tied it up, and they were getting the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they could win this game.
Yep. Unfortunately for me, they did not win by enough because the spread was 3.5.
Oh, bummer. So the kicker, what an unbelievable story.
Oh, yeah.
The kid was was like an XFL kicker, right? And he was working in some just like regular job.
Yeah.
Like stock and shell, whatever. I don't know what
Just
what
like
he was
Kirk
doing.
Cousins coming off the couch.
Like working in a lumber yard? Or so just.
Oh, yeah.
And the kid is awesome.
Oh, yeah. It was stupid how close he got it to the uprights, too. Like, you could see the shadow of the football as it went by.
There was very little room between the football and the goalpost.
Nobody sneeze.
Yeah. Very little room between the football and the goalpost.
Yeah.
So good for the Lions, man. They are awesome. The Texans did not score a point in the second half.
Nope.
They had 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals in the first half and 0 in the second half.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well. All right, let's Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, Dave Canales, happy man in the locker room, passing around the accolades.
A career high, 153 rushing yards, We had some turnovers now. Hey, Sean got one out. Josie got one. Clowney with the tip and the pick JT Sanders, first career touchdown. And we got a couple sacks right here. One time for A-Sean. DJ Warner.
Great scene. The Josie Jewell interception was fantastic. What a great play.
He made Tracy Jr. cry.
He did.
Unfortunately,
Oh, man.
He was very emotional after that.
Well, no, the A'Shawn Robinson knocking the ball out. That was the one that made him cry in overtime. Great play. That kid had a good game, too, for the Giants. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But Panthers got some really good individual efforts out of that game. So, look, you're not winning a lot of games when you do them. When you finally manage, and they've won 2 in a row, first time since 22.
It's a winning streak. That's great.
What?
I know it's stupid, but yeah.
So
I know it's been too long.
They are, so enjoy it. It does sound like they are enjoy it. Bryce Young, who only won twice last year, and remember, never got into the victory formation. He's still this year with 2 wins. He's only been in the victory formation once. But what does it feel like to be a winner, Bryce?
Great. I'm blessed for sure. All glory to God. I'm super happy for this team, for my teammates, for everyone involved. And, it's great. Again, it's 2 wins right now. We had these 24 hours. We're going to enjoy it. But, obviously, stuff to clean up, stuff to build off of. But we'll worry about that, when the time's appropriate.
Again, like I said, he doesn't need the water after a win. It's a thing.
Here's Dave Canales. Are you ready to just say, yeah, man, this is Bryce's gig?
I'm so proud of Bryce. I'm so proud of taking the next step again. I thought he had a great day. I thought it could have been a fantastic day. I thought a few balls got away from us a couple of times that would have really turned it into an exceptional day, but he handled the rush well. He handled the different coverage looks and all that. So again, we'll take all the information. We'll do all that, but Bryce certainly is making a statement to all of us. And so, I just can't tell you how proud I am of just weekly progress, and that's the goal for all of us.
Okay, I'm not even going to criticize. Dave Canales is one of those coaches. He's just one of those. He's going to slow play everything. I said it last week when he was pretending to not have been, made a decision on who would be the quarterback. I'm like, come on. You can't possibly defend not playing Bryce unless he's hurt. You can't defend not giving Bryce another start. I said that before the game against the Giants. He started Bryce Young, and he announced it Wednesday, the day after, saying, well, let him keep him guessing, type of a stupid thing. And I know what he said there. Bryce Young is going to start when they play their next game unless something happens during the bye week. Unless he gets, whooping cough, which I got an email from my kid's school. Apparently there's whooping cough in my kid's school.
Really?
What?
What century
I thought we
is
were
this?
done with that.
Yeah. Wow.
Plague? Is the plague back too?
Maybe.
Come on, people. So, so Bryce is going to be the starter when they play the Chiefs, and that'll be so much fun. All right, last Saturday night, Rod Brindamore and his team were done in by two things. The Avalanche were flat. It was 2-0 Carolina. They're on the power play, and then they turned the puck over. It ended up as a shorthanded goal, and then later there was goaltender interference that went against them.
The shorthanded goal killed us. Like they were, I think, pretty flat. You could see what they were like once they got going. So that was the play of the game, and then the goal interference thing for me. That's the game, right? It's a one-goal game essentially. So those two kind of things flipped the game for us.
All right, so real quick, the shorthanded goal I thought it completely changed the game. Didn't end the game, but it changed it. Colorado they were going nowhere fast. The Hurricanes were dominating play, dominating the puck, doing what they always seem to do. And then Shane Gostisbehere, his pass across the ice was telegraphed. Cale Makar stepped in front like a defensive back, reading a play in the flat. He went the other way and just ripped it past Spencer Martin. The other reference was to a goaltender interference call that Rod Brindamore challenged and lost. Again, can't remember the Hurricanes legitimately ever coming out on the good side of a goaltender interference challenge. Whether they challenge for goaltender interference, wiping off a goal, or the other team challenges a Carolina goal, I can't think of a time where Carolina came out to the good. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just saying I can't remember it.
No, that's why Rod doesn't like to challenge, because it's a waste.
But he always does.
Yeah.
He always does for goaltender interference.
Right.
Now, here's where I wouldn't have, and I know that there's another clip that says Rod said that the referee said that there was no contact, which, are you kidding? Unless there was a force field around the two skates, like when you can't touch the two magnets together, whatever that's called. Unless the two skate blades were magnets that couldn't touch, there's no way that there wasn't contact. But my point is that I thought Andrei Svechnikov helped guide Nathan MacKinnon into Spencer Martin. That's why I thought that the goal would stand. As it turned out, they just said, nah, no contact. Okay, you're wrong. Anyway, that's where we are. Hurricanes had their 8-game winning streak stopped, but they are favored in Vegas tonight. So take that for what it's worth.
Right.
All right.
Go figure.
Oh, good. Vegas knows what they're doing. They don't build hotels for being
Yeah.
wrong.
Or the Sphere. It's like the coolest thing ever,
Yeah.
even though I haven't seen it in person, but looks pretty
great.
cool.
Looks great on TV.
Yeah.
When we come back, Will Palik is the voice of Charlotte FC, but also does post-game for the Hornets and the Panthers. And the Hornets and the Panthers each won. Charlotte FC didn't, but we'll talk about the Hornets and the Panthers first. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The Panthers finally won a game, but let's not forget who did it. Leading the team in tackles, a rookie, Damani Richardson. Leading the team in receiving, Jatavian Sanders, a rookie. Leading the team second in receiving, another rookie, Jalen Coker. Xavier Legette, another rookie, third. You have to let the young guys take over if you want to have success in Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hi, it's Adam Gold from my friend Dr. Lori Travers at Travers LASIK, and I'm going to tell you a story that you might have been in the same predicament. Over the weekend, my son plays soccer. One of his teammates, in the middle of the game, contact lens popped out, and I thought, maybe this is a teaching moment. Not necessarily for him, but maybe for you. Maybe you're an athlete and your contact lenses popped out. Well, let's get rid of them. No, don't go blind. Let's go to Dr. Lori Travers at Travers LASIK and let her take you to 20/20 vision like she did me a dozen years ago. I was about 2250. Now I'm 20/20, and I just get up and go every day. She is the only LASIK specialist in the Triangle, and Travers LASIK is the only clinic that specializes in LASIK. All you have to do is call, and the consultation is free. 919-510-6830. 919-510-6830. TraversLASIK.com. Let's get rid of the contact lenses so we don't have to stop play forever. TraversLASIK.com.
The Ram Black Friday sales event is going on now, with great deals on a wide selection of powerful and dependable Ram trucks. Now finance and get $7,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to Ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for this Black Friday offer. $7,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 12/2/24.
For the fourth year in a row, the Durham Sports Commission is proud to present the Champion Durham Classic, a premier high school basketball invitational taking place in the Bull City. As the high school basketball season heats up, you won't want to miss out on all the action. From November 21st to 23rd at Hillside High School in Durham, this exciting sporting event will feature both boys and girls teams from local schools like Jordan, Hillside, Southern, and Cardinal Gibbons. Get your tickets today at DurhamNCSports.com.
The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday, playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. First time? Here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers, bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD, that's code TIMD with no spaces, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
Happy holidays. Welcome to Total Wireless. How can I help you?
Oh, my phone is panicking. It thinks I'm trading it in.
No worries. At Total Wireless, you get 50% off the Total 5G Unlimited plan when you keep your phone.
Really? 50% off and I get to keep my phone? Wow.
Yep, that's as low as $25 per month for one line when you sign up for AutoPay.
Visit your Total Wireless store today. Restrictions apply. Compatible device required. Available exclusively online and in Total Wireless retail stores.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he said in his interview today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time, he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Happy Veterans Day. To veterans, thank you for your service. It was a mostly great weekend for sports fans in the Charlotte area. We are, of course, also up here fans not only of the Panthers, but we have many Hornets fans here. And I have seen a fair amount of people who are sporting the Ally Charlotte Football Club home shirts, and it was a bummer of a finish after what looked like it might be an incredible upset victory. We will get to all of those things with the one and only Will Palik, who is the voice of Charlotte FC, pregame, postgame, for both the Hornets and the Panthers. You are everywhere. You wear more hats than Cam Newton. At Willie P. Style on Twitter. Let's start with the Panthers. A second week in a row, Bryce Young looks like, look, an NFL quarterback showed up. Now, Dave Canales won't commit to him, but whatever. He's going to start him. We're not idiots. What'd you like about what you saw in Germany, in Munich?
I love those first two drives. I think that he was very much somebody who you looked for to try and get some progress. I know that, when it comes down to it, you obviously have to take that progress with a little bit of a bit of a bell curve, just because of the fact that, the yardage numbers aren't what a lot of people would expect. But you have to think about the context of this. He's really got nobody who you would consider to be a veteran presence as a pass catcher outside of the guys coming out of the backfield. And I think Canales finally committed to the run game, fully, not just, we're going to run it every so often. He actually ran it with Chuba Hubbard.
28 carries.
That I think is the most encouraging thing about it. And the fact that you got the complementary football out of the defense to also help them out, forcing 3 turnovers, the big turnover in overtime to get them the victory. Again, 2 wins that you would probably consider ugly wins, but they are still wins. They count. It's not like – I feel like sometimes we have a lot of college football fans in this area, and I think too often they become consumed about – how it looks and how they win. There's no college football playoff committee for the Carolina Panthers. There's no BCS. Margin of victory does not matter here. The win counts just the same. So as far as I'm concerned, the last 2 weeks have honestly been a joy to watch and very much an overjoy compared to what we've seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah, first time since 22 that they've won two consecutive games. That is hard to believe. Here's the thing. If people don't like... We'll just call them, an ugly win. Has anybody watched the Kansas City Chiefs lately? I mean, they're 8-0, and their margin of victory without ever losing a game is 6. And they are just squeaking by. They should have lost yesterday to the Denver Broncos at home.
Blocked kicks. That's what they're living on.
But there's a reason they're 8-0. I mean, did they get the benefit? Sure, I'm sure they did. But they still blocked the kick. They still figured out a way to win, and they have Patrick Mahomes. I do wish that we would see a few more downfield. I'm not talking about deep shots. I wish we would see more from Bryce Young throwing the ball 10 yards down the field, 15 yards down the field. I think he's good. I think he's good at that. Some of the passes, one crossing route to Jalen Coker. Where it looked like it might have been a little high, but it was perfectly thrown ball. It had to be thrown a little bit taller. Perfectly thrown ball. I just thought that we saw a lot of good from Bryce. He wasn't great, but he showed that he looks like he belongs. And that, to me, is what we should see.
Well, I think one of the things he's also taken is he's taken a lot of what he learned, whether it was on the bench, whether it was, in practice. He took a lot of the stuff that, came from the benching and learned from it. He understood that he's got to be more decisive. He understood that, the internal clock in the National Football League is not what it is in college. He also knows now that the difference between being open in college versus what open looks like in the NFL are two completely different things. He's not scared to throw the football anymore. He's not scared to make mistakes anymore. And mistakes will come. Overthrows will come and things will happen. And I'm curious to see how he bounces back from that adversity. But when you think about the last 2 weeks, he's somebody who has kept you in games. He has very much given the offense chance to hope. I think the one thing, too, that you look at is you got a young core of playmakers, and Xavier Leggett, Jalen Coker, and Jatavion Sanders, who represent the closest thing that they've had to building blocks from a skill position aspect that we've had in this first time in a long time. So from that perspective, I feel like you're very, very much comforted by that fact. Adam Thielen coming back will definitely help things as well, and as will Jonathan Brooks potentially after the bye as well, because you'll definitely need him after the injury to Miles Sanders. So I think from that perspective, things are looking up, and it all comes back to this, Adam. The easiest way that this all gets better is no additional resources for the quarterback position, so Dan Morgan can build the rest of the roster. And if Bryce Young proves by the end of the year that he has progressed enough to where you can trust him for at least one more year, I think you stick with him, and maybe, just maybe, he turns something closer into, after another offseason and a full offseason of work under Dave Canales, he becomes closer to the kind of guy that you drafted number 1 overall and the guy you traded up all those assets to go get.
Will Palaszczuk at Willie P. Style on Twitter is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. See, I think they're still going to trade him in the offseason, but I also think that this is good for his value, because if he demonstrates that he can be an NFL quarterback, like, it's not like what the Jets did with Zach Wilson, who, I mean, that guy can't play in the league. He's just a great athlete. I don't think Justin Fields is ever going to be a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL, but he's a great athlete. Like, I think Daniel Jones, to me, is a career backup. Heck, Daniel Jones could back up, I'll just throw it out there, Andy Dalton next year here in Charlotte. But I think they're going to trade Bryce Young. Let me get to the other. By the way, DJ Wanham on the field.
Yes.
How about that?
Yes. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. And by the way, Josie Jewell has made plays. Now, is it back-to-back weeks where Josie Jewell has made big plays? That was a great interception down in the red zone.
After he missed one on the previous portion of the drive, which was redemption for him.
Yeah, so they're starting to make some plays. It's nice. They can still get run through. I mean, that kid Tracy was really good for the Giants, but I think this defense, I think the cake is baked with this defense, but as they get some players back, you're seeing maybe a little bit more of a pass rush. Now with Jadeveon Clowney healthy, it was good to see that. So some positive signs. Now, do I think they're going to beat the Chiefs after the bye? I mean, why not? Dumber things have happened, right?
Dumber things have happened, number one. And number two, there are other games on this schedule that don't look nearly as daunting. I mean, I think we all kind of chalked up the Cowboy game potentially as a loss, but you see the way they looked without Dak Prescott.
They're terrible.
Anemic. They were anemic.
They are.
So
is the game in Dallas? Because if the game is Dallas, it's a guaranteed Panthers win.
It's here.
I wish it was in Dallas. They definitely win that in Dallas. All right, so the Hornets have won 2 in a row, speaking of winning 2 in a row. So LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller are good.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you like?
I like the fact that it's a deeper team than they've seen in recent years. Look, I mean, when you think about the 2 wins last week, I know that they took the unfortunate setback against the Sixers last night, but it almost felt like a win last night after they came back from 16 down to force overtime against an undermanned Philadelphia team, to be fair. But I think the one thing you like is that they do have now what I would call workable depth. They've got Grant Williams, who they come off the bench with. I know that from the center standpoint, they are very much depleted, and you're having to deal with the old man, Taj Gibson, starting. But you've got a guy in Moussa Diabate who's giving you great minutes. He had 15 rebounds the other night against the Pacers, 11 rebounds last night against the Philadelphia 76ers, 5 of them on the offensive end. I think Trey Mann is somebody who is becoming a 6th Man of the Year candidate. Yeah. I think that Seth Curry provides a lot of leadership, veteran leadership off the bench as well. And look, there was a time where Charles Lee was going 10, 11, 12 deep with his rotations the way that he started this season. Obviously, with the injuries to Miles Bridges and Nick Richards and Mark Williams, he's probably had to shorten that a little bit. But I think the one thing you've looked at and liked is that LaMelo and Brandon are carrying this team, and they've got guys around them to be able to be supportive. And that's something you very much like from a Hornets perspective as they go through a part of this schedule that's going to include the NBA Cup. We'll see if they can get themselves into the knockout round and get some important and meaningful games to try and add to the schedule. But I think they're just hoping right now to kind of tread water as they get Bridges, Richards, and Williams back. And obviously those things are still yet to be determined on the length of those guys' injuries. But I think that once those guys get back, then they really can kind of unleash what I think people had from a hope standpoint for them this season.
I just think it's encouraging that when healthy, LaMelo Ball is an absolute difference maker. And I think he's better than – like to me, when I first saw him, I thought he was more flash, more style than substance. I think there's substance there, and I love Miller. So, it's nice to have those.
Melo's made some big adjustments to his game. Like, he no longer shies away from contact. I found it interesting during one of his pregame interviews with our radio team. Sam Farmer asked him, about one of the things that he likes about Charles Lee, and Charles Lee actually has implored him to play a little bit more defense. And you've seen that over the first couple of contests. Like, LaMelo's actually giving an effort on defense, swiping away the ball, getting steals, active hands.
Look at that.
I know that sometimes people are criticizing him fouling too much. I think that's always going to be a part of your game when you play the position that he is, but I think he's somebody who is developing an all-around game now.
All right, now to the bad. I couldn't get to – I know you sent me the official hangout because the game was in Orlando.
Sure.
But Charlotte FC with a 1-0 lead until the last minute of added time, and then the referee put Orlando City on the penalty spot. First, did you think it was a penalty? And then we'll go from there.
So there was contact.
Right.
But I thought it was very soft, and I thought that the player, McGuire, made a meal of it, definitely tried to sell it. I'm not one of these people who thinks that a call in the first minute is the same as the 97th minute. I think the bar gets raised as you get later in the game. I think the fact that you decide a series on a call of that nature, I think is criminal, personally. I don't think that really reflects what we want to see happen. We don't want to see the game, the jurisprudence of the game, come down to a shirt tug. Like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I also didn't like the offside call that was on Patrick Ajiman's goal that was disallowed.
Right.
But the other part of that too is this is what happens when you live on thin margins. And unfortunately, Charlotte FC, kind of lived on thin margins the entire year. Sometimes it works out for you, sometimes it doesn't.
1-0 lead, and to me, it's not a penalty. I am somebody who believes that the call in the first minute is the same as the call in the last minute, but I wouldn't have made that call in the first minute either. I just don't think.
I don't disagree with you. I've heard some people try to justify it. My partner Jessica Charman thought it was a penalty.
Okay.
And I'm
Gosh,
not,
she's never wrong. How do you get away with that?
I just think it's just soft. I just think it's so soft.
I thought it was soft too. Anyway, it was a great year. And it was good to be back in the playoffs and in with a shout against a team like Orlando City with Facundo Torres. They never lose. But unfortunately, with best goalkeeper in the league. Right?
And would have had a home game, too, if they had won, too.
Right.
That's the part that really hurts.
All right, real quick. On the penalty, it's a good save. Wasn't a great penalty because it was like it was hard, but it was sort of central. Like it didn't go for if it's a better penalty, I think that ball is parried away from the goal. But because it was into his body, and I think everybody was kind of asleep there because Torres was the only person who moved.
Yeah, that's the only part of it that I feel like from Charlotte's perspective, you would have liked to see somebody get there a little quicker. I think, again, the shock of the moment. I think the other thing, too, that bothers me about the penalty is how long it took to put him on the line, because I think that took a lot of the oxygen out of the game. The fact that the dude goes to the monitor, I mean, how many times have we seen, you watch enough soccer, how many times have we seen them go to a monitor and keep the freaking call the same on the field as it was after they go to the monitor? Like, you never see that happen. Maybe I've seen that happen. I could count on one hand the amount of times I've seen that happen.
If they send you to the monitor, it's usually to change the call.
If the dude in Arlington can see it, what did you not see, Izmir Pekmich?
Did you just curse at me in German? Are we still talking about that?
No, that's the name of the referee, but it's okay.
Will Palaszczuk at Willie P. Style. Thank you, man. We will talk again very soon. Appreciate your time.
Always appreciate it, Adam. Thank you.
You got it. All right, when we come back, we'll talk a little NFL football with our friend Will Brinson. I am Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show. Happy Veterans Day.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The NFL's week is almost over, and you have one more chance to make something out of it. Dolphins are at the Rams tonight, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, says new customers, you place a $5 wager and win that wager on tonight's game. You can do anything you like. Tyreek Hill receptions, Tyreek Hill touchdowns, Tua Tagovailoa passing yards, you name it. You win a $5 wager, you get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel.com/AGS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we believe that getting to know you is the best way to protect what you love most. We have friendly agents in every county to help you prepare for the unexpected. And when life doesn't go as planned, our award-winning claims team will be with you every step of the way. Find a local agent today at ncfbins.com. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
ACT Construction Equipment is proud to be your certified local Takeuchi dealer in Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Asheville, Wilmington, and Myrtle Beach. Takeuchi has long been a world leader in the compact construction industry. Let ACT Construction Equipment help you find the right machine for the job. Our full line of excavators, track loaders, and attachments are designed for low maintenance and high productivity. Visit us online at actce.com to schedule a demo. ACT Construction Equipment, your authorized Takeuchi dealer.
According to the latest report on farmland loss in the United States, North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. If you own land that may be converted from agricultural use, the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services may be able to help. Grants for the purchase of development rights are available through the North Carolina Agricultural Development and Farmland Preservation Trust Fund. Landowners can learn more at ncadfp.org.
Some call it overplanning. At Alternative Power, we call it foresight. Be prepared for the next power outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Generac, it's not just a generator, it's a power move. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
Did you and your family lose North Carolina Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Psst. Hello there. It's me, your internal clock. Yes, the one you sleep through on weekends. You've probably heard my TikToks, but I'm straight up sounding the bell now. It's almost time to start applying for college. That means you got transcripts to gather, letters of rec to request, and campus tours to schedule. But hey, we've got time, and we've got CFNC. CFNC.org can help us plan, apply, and pay for college. We got this, trust me. Just visit CFNC.org to help us stay on time.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health-friendly workplace. Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he said in his interview today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time, he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Canes are in Vegas tonight. And it is worth noting that Ty Smith and Tyson Jost were added to the roster from the minor leagues, which means that we've got a defenseman who might be out and potentially a forward that might be out for tonight. There was no if they were going to just bring extra bodies, they would have done that prior to the game in Colorado. But which also, by the way, featured weird travel because they didn't leave until Saturday morning based on some snow that was in the Denver area, which, I mean, I had not doubting whether or not there was snow in Denver, but our colleague who sometimes comes in here from high school OT, Nick Stevens, he flew out Friday. And he sent me a text like, what do you mean the team isn't coming? I bought tickets.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Well, the team got there. So Denver's lovely. Have a good time. Denver's a wonderful... Denver really is. Denver is a very cool city.
It's a place I want to
visit.
I've been close. Montana's the closest I've gotten.
You've been to Montana?
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
gorgeous.
Yellowstone returned yesterday. I did not watch it.
I did not either. So we can't spoil anything because I haven't watched it yet.
My wife spoiled it for me, but I don't really remember what she said, and I don't care.
Right.
Like, I'll watch it anyway, just because I just want to finish it. But I don't really. Yeah. I'm not really.
You're not digging it.
No, I haven't. Yeah. The last 2 seasons have been terrible.
Well,
but I'm already invested in it, so let's get it over with.
Might as well, keep going. I'm committed.
I've actually spent a lot of time going back and watching, like, Ted Lasso scenes.
I need to watch Ted Lasso. That's on the to-do list. Mm-hmm.
It's tremendous.
It's good.
Yeah, tremendous. All right, before we get to a rewind, because I talked about this earlier, we desperately would like to see 2 ACC teams in the playoff. I would give it a 10% chance of happening. And it isn't because Miami, well, partially it's because Miami lost at Georgia Tech. It's partially because of that. And I get it. There are a lot of people who are mad because when Alabama lost at Vanderbilt, it became, man, Vanderbilt's getting so much better. I get it. You're not wrong. Nobody will look at Georgia Tech and say, hey, it's a pretty good football team, Georgia Tech. It will be, oh, that's a bad loss. Nobody said that about Alabama. It was all pro Vanderbilt. I understand. It's hypocritical, right? It's the way it is. Eventually, maybe that it won't be the case. But the worst loss for the ACC was that Pittsburgh lost at home to Virginia. Think about Pitt without that loss and where they'd be. Still in the race now they already have the one loss to SMU. But with one loss, you're still in the race for the division, for the conference title game, because Miami, especially if Miami had already lost, and they had, Miami's got one loss, SMU has none. If Pitt only has one loss, it kind of you're then looking at tiebreakers and things like that. Pittsburgh's got 2 good games left with Clemson and Louisville. Pittsburgh could actually get into a position where you could be an at-large team. You can miss out on the ACC championship game and be 11-1, and with enough good wins, you're going. And then they lost to Virginia. So now you've got 2 losses. You can still get 2 more good wins, and I guess theoretically Pittsburgh could still be in the mix because they have 2 Power 5 non-conference wins, one over West Virginia, one over Cincinnati. Neither of those teams are great, but they're passable. But now you've got to win out, and it's unlikely, even if you do, maybe a 25% chance that a 10-2 Pitt team is in the playoff. Maybe 25% chance is being generous. So now you're down to SMU and Miami, each with one loss. Could Clemson get back into it? Yeah, well, they play Pitt. And as a matter of fact, they play Pitt this weekend. And if you're Clemson, you better win that game by 30 points. You better lay one on the Panthers. And then you get to the South Carolina game, and Clemson needs to do the same. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that 10-2 Clemson is in the field. I don't. But you must win those two games big. Big. If you do that, then you have a chance. Other than that, it was not a great weekend for the conference. Good weekend for Duke. Manny Diaz could be coach of the year. I mean, if they win 9 times.
Yeah, I could see it. Why not?
I mean, they could. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you win 9 times, you could be coach of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe you should be coach of the year. All right. Let's rewind. All right. Will Brinson joined us earlier. We talk NFL football with him every Monday. And we talked about the Panthers, and we'll close on the Panthers, you and I, but getting around the rest of the league, some things that I think are really, we're sort of the second team for a lot of fans who love Washington. Well, they hosted Pitt. They hosted Pittsburgh this weekend, and Russell Wilson makes the Steelers different. He makes them better. I don't think Russ is consistently good, but he does have those moments, the touchdown pass to Mike Williams at the end, and he gives the Steelers something that Justin Fields could not. If the Steelers fall behind and Justin Fields is a quarterback, they ain't winning. If you have to throw the ball, you're not winning. So it shouldn't be a debate. Russ, better than Fields.
Yeah, I mean, they're 7-2. They play great defense. They run the crap out of the ball. I mean, Najee had 21 carries. Jalen Warren had 14. They weren't particularly efficient, and Najee got banged up by the goal line. But Russ opens up that running game, and more importantly, he unlocks George Pickens, who's had another great game. 5 catches, 91 yards and a touch.
Right.
I mean, and then Mike Williams. I mean, this is just like the island of cast off misfits, right?
Yes.
I mean, Mike Williams signed this offseason. Russ basically signed for nothing, or he signed with the Jets this offseason and traded last week. I mean, it's the type of team that you don't think is when they get to the playoffs, the Bills and the Chiefs are going to be there. I probably like the Chargers a little bit more than the Steelers, but I think they're kind of similar, right? You have more upside at the quarterback with the Chargers, but you just have a team that is, and this is what Mike Tomlin wanted from Russell Wilson. Come in, open up the passing game a little bit, get the most out of your receivers, don't make dumb mistakes, don't turn the ball over, just let the defense in the run game get you in there and find ways to win. And they got a coach who doesn't flinch. And to his credit, he told us that Russ was in the pole position before the season started, and Russ ended up taking the job, but his injury with the calf injury during the preseason, and it led to Justin Fields taking over. He bridges the gap, and there's probably going to be a time when they will use a little Justin Fields here and there. But shout out to my buddy Carver Clan. He said it first on yesterday on ATW, but I agree with it completely. Russ is reviving what we thought was a lost Hall of Fame career. I've never seen anything like this. I don't think he was in the Hall of Fame. It was a done deal. He was just going to be a Hall of Famer. Just had to play out average to above average seasons. He's so bad with Seattle and so bad with Denver that he moonwalked his way out of the Hall of Fame, and now he might be forcing his way back in. But if the Steelers make any kind of a run or go and win the division, I mean, he's not going to win MVP, but he'll sneak a vote or two, as a down ballot guy.
Well, okay,
they vote for 5 guys. Matthew Stafford got one last year, so I mean,
okay. All right. So maybe Russ gets a 5th place vote, but it doesn't even matter.
Somebody in Pittsburgh's going to give him a 5th place vote, and he'll get an MVP. He'll get his first ever MVP vote. And then all of a sudden he's just back on track for Canton. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, and he's not playing a super high level. It's just this is what we thought Russ would be when he got older, and he's actually doing it in Pittsburgh, which it's just so odd he didn't do it with Sean Payton.
Will Brinson is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, as he does every Monday. All right, let me get to the Detroit Lions did everything they could to not win yet last night against Houston and still won. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. Don't even care that one of them was on a Hail Mary. If we forget it, he threw 4 interceptions, and they won the game. Is that more about Detroit, or is that more about Houston?
I think it's about Detroit. I mean, look, Houston was banged up. John Mechie is their leading receiver. And it's an awesome story that Mechie's out there playing well. Tank Dell should have had a touchdown. C.J. Stroud underthrew it. And I thought, Chris Collinsworth pointed this out, but during the early part of the game, C.J. Stroud looked really calm in the pocket. Detroit did some stuff defensively that got him rattled. And again, Collinsworth noted it. I mean, it's obvious, but when Detroit came out of the second half, they were like, all right, we're going to get David Montgomery going. We're going to get Amon-Ra St. Brown going.
Yep.
And when they got those guys going, the offensive line's mauling, and the defense is getting pressure on Stroud, they just kind of flipped it. And I think, if you, not you, Adam, but you, the listener, haven't been out there every Monday, your Monday will be way better if you just wake up and listen to Dan Campbell post-game speeches when the Lions win. I mean, you'll be a better person, a better parent, a better brother, father, mother, daughter, whatever you are. Just go listen to it. Trust me. This team's just got something special cooking. And I think, what really stands out to me is that, the fact, Aaron Glenn, great job on the defense.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson, incredible job on the offense week after week with all these weapons. And then the fact that, NBC did a piece on Gibbs and Montgomery talking about how they don't care who gets the yardage. And it's the same with the receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the top 10 NFL wide receiver, and he doesn't care if he's not getting targeted every play. They spread it around. They're really unselfish. They embody the head coach, and they just find different ways to win every single week. I want they're 8-1 now. I want them to go win the Super Bowl because it'd be awesome for that city. It'd be great for the coach. And I think it'd be cool for Jared Goff, who has really reinvented himself. And he's the number 1 pick and went to a Super Bowl with the Rams and was part of this offensive revolution with Sean McVay, but has somehow reinvented himself and is this hyper likable guy, which I think he is in Detroit. It's just this team. You have to be a Packers, Bears, or Vikings fan to root against the Lions. That's the only excuse.
All right, I have 3 more teams I want to get, but I'm going to combine 2 of them, and that'll be the last one. San Francisco got Christian McCaffrey back. It looked like they were trying to lose to Tampa, but ultimately they won it because Jake Moody finally made a field goal. I guess he made 3.
Combine this with the Chiefs. Is that where this is going?
No. I'm not. No, this San Francisco is on its own.
Okay.
Are the 49ers with McCaffrey with enough of Deebo Samuel, because they have George Kittle? The other wide receivers they have are fine. They're not awesome. Jennings and Pearsall are fine. But if you have Kittle...
Pearsall might be good, man.
Yeah, right. But he's a rookie, and he's coming back from being shot in the offseason. I mean, that's just not a lie. I mean, it's amazing that he's A, alive, B, playing. But are the 49ers potentially the second best team in the NFC?
Yeah, they can be the best team in the NFC. I mean, they have 4 losses.
They can't.
Right?
They're not better than Detroit on their best day, I don't believe.
I don't know, man. Brock Purdy's done a lot of stuff without Christian McCaffrey, and now he gets his blanket back. That's a big deal. Their 4 losses, 1 score to Minnesota, 1 score to the Rams, both of those on the road. 1 score to an Arizona team that looks really good, and then they lost by 10 to the Chiefs, right? Other than that, they've handled their business. And, I think they've handled their business in a way where you lose Brandon Ayuk for the season. Devo had some turbo COVID or the flu or something for 3 weeks. McCaffrey hasn't played at all this season. They've had a lot of bad luck. The defense has been banged up. Dre Greenlaw coming back from that Achilles injury at the Super Bowl. They've had a lot of bad luck, and they're still 5-4. Have a great coach. Now the schedule is not easy. They have the Seahawks, Packers, and Bills up next.
Yeah,
the Bears are trash. Another game with the Rams, Dolphins, and then the Lions and the Cardinals again. So it's a tough schedule, but I think in the NFC, even as tough as the NFC is, they are absolutely. They might not win the division. I think they probably should be close to the favorite, if not the favorite, to do so anyway. But, I mean, like, yeah, this is a team that's going to be a problem as they start to get healthier with the coaching they have and the talent they have for sure.
All right, final question. This is where we combine two teams, and we have no more than a minute. Who are more fun? Which team is more fun to watch completely implode, the Jets or the Cowboys?
The Cowboys. I mean, it's delightful. Like, Jerry Jones is screwed. Like, what do you want? You want to tear down the stadium and like build a new one? It's like the Jets are just sad. Like, I mean, like Jerry's like CeeDee Lamb is complaining about a sun in his face.
Yeah.
And Jerry, it's like, dude, they did WrestleMania there. They hung curtains. Like, just hang some blackout shades and so, like stop letting your hubris interfere with your team's ability to win. The Jets are just sad and pathetic, and they're not like it's not enjoyable. The Cowboys blowing up.
Sure, it is
extremely enjoyable.
I'd say they're both incredibly enjoyable. But Jerry is right. Jerry's like, we knew where the sun was.
Yeah,
Everybody knows where the sun is.
Yeah.
Like, deal with it. Whatever. See that. What an excuse.
Maybe don't call a play call that involves like a route into the sun. How about that, Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy's toast, by the way. I mean, he's gone.
Yeah, the Cowboys have not covered themselves in glory. Will Brinson, you have CBSSports.com, at Will Brinson on Twitter. All right, man, I'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, buddy. See you, man.
Take care. Here's the thing about CeeDee Lamb complaining about the sun. For the most part, football's played outside.
Yep. It's a fact.
So... What exactly are we complaining about?
How is somebody supposed to fix that? I mean,
I get it because AT&T Stadium can be and is at times covered, right? So I get it.
Right.
And for all I know, AT&T Stadium is always covered when they play.
Such a
but
diva
you might be able to
complaint.
see through.
Yeah.
Like in the at SoFi Stadium in L.A. Like it's domed, but it's outdoors.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah.
Right? I prefer, like, honestly, to me, domes should be last resort.
Mm-hmm.
How are the elements? Good? Let's do it.
Right.
Take the top off.
Exactly.
As a convertible guy,
Right.
used to be. I had a Jeep.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
I've had two Jeeps, and
I thought you were going to say the Miata.
I wasn't going to. Well, it was. I mean, find that lie. I like a good convertible.
Right.
I also had a Suzuki Samurai.
Oh,
but
fancy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not really. But like, if it's not raining, or if it's not super cold,
right?
Let's do it.
Why not?
All right. College basketball rankings out. Kansas stays number 1, Alabama 2, UConn 3, Gonzaga 4, Auburn 5, Duke up 1 to 6. North Carolina dropped to 10. I don't really care much about the college basketball rankings because so many teams make the tournament. It will work itself out, and these rankings are just, to me, nothing more than fun. Football rankings have impact. The basketball rankings really don't. But that North Carolina-Kansas game was super fun this past Friday night. We need more of those. Anyway, we got a Monday Night Football tonight. Canes late night.
Yep.
Canes After Dark. Join us for the Canes Corner podcast live on YouTube. YouTube.com/Canes Corner. Victoria, thank you. Bye.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my man, Coach Pete DeRuta, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex, the retirement planning specialist. I don't know if you know this, but we had an election recently. What is it